Good day, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Viper's of Viperland, and I'm back here in Robotics Notes Elite, or sorry, Robotics Notes DaSH Elite was the previous one. Also, hey, Sora, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. So, yeah, we were in the middle of the Airi route. I said the middle, but it's probably closer to the end, honestly. And, yeah, that's where we're kicking it back off from. The very next day. I'm on a ship, but not to go back to Tokyo. I'm headed for Kagoshima. So, why are you here, Hashida-san? Sitting next to me is Akitan. That's if her posture, leaning forward and ducking so as to not to expose her head above the seat, constitutes a sitting. About 5 rows ahead of us are Yashio, Kyun, and Airi-tan, sitting next to each other. Right back at you. Why are you following them, Akitan? I'm, worried. Oh yeah, because they were having their date. Worried, yes. Yeah, that checks out. Well then, that's my reason too. What do you mean? Of course, I'd rather not spy on people's dates like this. That's a lie, and we know it. But I don't have a choice. And what's with that big luggage of yours? This here is something very important. The electromagnetic wave irradiation equipment is sitting at my feet. Well, this Airi-tan can't remain as Airi-tan. The electromagnetic waves being generated by the device have gotten significantly weaker as of this morning. There's no guarantee that this will last the whole day. In other words, if this thing isn't near the two of them, Airi-tan will turn back into Airi-tan on the spot. The problem is this thing's weight. I'm too much of a nice guy. My waifu does say she likes that part of me, but still, this posture is tiring. Excuse me. So how long does it take to get to Kagoshima? About an hour and a half? We still have another hour to go in this position while we spy on those two in their joyful conversation. Joyful conversation. The shop is really nice. They have so many cute things, but also, do they have Twitter? Nothing. Thank you for the stage event. The crowd is all heated up, all thanks to Airi-san. I guess that's what it means. Man, being a magician isn't easy. Did Daru change his... Alright. Either way. I don't think that was his icon before. We got that. Idol from Magical Country, Magical Academia, Moe Moe Kyun. Yes, it has to have the Moe Moe Kyun. Ah, there we go. Bag Shop, Haru. Clothing of Akayama. I don't know if there's a trophy for getting all the geotags, but like, I'm just going to be trying to go through anyway. Oh, you've been here before? Yes, a couple of times actually. Oh, just once before arriving in Tanegashima. I see. Also, Sword, my AC got taken out, but I got a fan on me now. Can you hear the fan noticeably? Or is that... I think I've got it pointed away from the mic, but air is a weird thing. Ooh, look at this pendant, it's so cute. Looks pretty expensive. Is she a devil? A little devil? There's definitely a part of her that's pretty ditzy, but when you combine her devilishness with that part of her, things get dangerous. Polar bear ice. Freshly saved ice with fruits and nuts, which is blended with condensed milk. A known summer feature mainly in Kagoshima and South Kyushu. Alright. Look, a polar bear. I've always wanted to eat the special edition version. Special edition frozen ice cream. You get a stomachache if you eat that one that big. Oh, also, this is a different, like, point of view, yep. Temokunakan Mujaki? Jeez. Home with polar bear ice. Polar bear ice. How about a picture with a big polar bear? That's there's a bunch of polar bears. They have an ice. It's true. Don't treat me like a child. I'll be just fine. Fine, then let's get a special edition one. Yay! Special limited edition ice cream. Very important. I'm so full already. Told you, it's huge. Kaito-san, give me some too. Fine. Here you go. Say ah. Hey, I can feed myself. Say ah. Ah. Sweet. Ah, come on, she spoon-fed him. I haven't even done that yet. Oh, poor Akio. Okay, just stop hitting me. Sorry. This is Tenmonkan, the largest shopping district in Kagoshima. A covered shopping district located in Kagoshima-shi, full of department stores which stay very busy. The name comes from Shigehide Shimazu, the Satsuma feudal lord of the Edo era, who built a planetarium in this region. Tenmonkan is covered to keep out the ashes from Sakurajima's volcano. Oh, I would have expected like rain and stuff, but alright. Also, now we're on his phone. I doubt it's different, but yeah, we saw those. Yep, nothing else. Alright. Just paranoid about these now. I don't want to miss any. Alright, whatever. We're still sneakily spying on the pair. Hey, I knew this was going to happen, okay? But when I watch two people get flirty, I can't help but feel empty inside. Literally is married with a kid. If you're that upset, wanna try it? With who? Me, of course. Sorry. I figured. Violet-tan doesn't have much time left. I think somewhere deep down inside, Akitan is aware of this. That's why she doesn't try to stop her. The joyous time together is about to come to an end. The sun is on the verge of setting. We returned to Tanegashima via express boat and are now standing together at the observatory in Uchugaoka Park. I still love how nobody has figured out that it's just Airi. Like, just add like 1.5 feet of height? It's like, nah, can't figure it out. Just cannot do it. It was her suggestion that we came here. I was right the first time. As the two of us gazed to the sparkling orange ocean in the launch pad, I'm recalling how this is where I first met Airi. Though the Airi at that time only existed within my phone droid, jump scaring people by slowly hopping onto frame. Thank you so much for today. After watching the sunset silently for a while, she turns to me and speaks. I had a lot of fun these past few days. I'm glad. So, I don't know why, but that wrong one. That CG looks just a little off to me. It's almost time for the midnight bell to ring. Yeah. I pull out a small bag from my pocket. What's that? Just something for you to remember these past couple days by. It's the pendant that she was looking at while we were walking around Tenmonkan earlier. I bought it when she wasn't looking. It's not a glass shoe, but... She puts on the pendant with her small hands, then tilts her head a little. How's it look? Great. Her smiling face looks all too familiar. Yeah, it's almost like you know who it is. Can I ask you for one last favor? Name it. Please, kiss me. She says in a whisper, then closes her eyes and lifts her face. I pull her narrow shoulders closer, and then I kiss her on the cheek. There you go again, treating me like a child. Thank you, big brother. And just like that, she disappears. I heard somebody say kiss. I came running. Let's go home. Yeah. So, wait. Wouldn't Airi be in her place? The device I had hanging on my back goes silent. When I hear small footsteps coming down the stairs, I lightly push Akitan's back. Akitan, without resisting, makes her way up the stairs of the observatory in a hurry. Oh, okay, so, yeah, never mind. Airi came down. And then, once Akitan disappears, she comes down slowly from the stairs in the opposite direction. Long day. Yeah. Her smiling face was as clear as the skies over Tanegashima. Oh, there's a few scattered clouds, you know. The next day. She went home? Yeah, I guess she got called back to Tokyo. She says she has a gig she can't miss. Too bad. I wanted to at least say thanks. When everybody heard that Airi-tan had quietly left the island without seeing the closing ceremony, they couldn't help but be disappointed. Airi-tan left me a message for you all. She said thanks and that she had lots of fun these past few days. You got to see her? Yes. Yes. Just for a little bit. She sends her regards to everyone. I see. That's too bad, but you know what? I bet she's going to turn out to be a very popular idol. Or vanish off the face of the earth, you know, 50-50. Of course, Super Kyun's predictions were way off. The idol known as Airi would disappear from public eye for quite some time. For a few years after, the handful of days she spent on Tanegashima would become the story of urban legend. That's a tale for another time. That aside, what about the final day of the festival? Is everyone good to go? Well... Wait, where's Frau-chan? Did she run away again? No way, that's no good. That's not good, we're short-handed as is. Sounds like the final day of the festival is going to be as chaotic as the rest of them. I received a request for backup at the first aid station. What do I do? Oh, also, as always, after I kept on having my life targeted by the organization, I cannot trust anyone anymore. My issue lunch. Good old pancakes. Delicious pancakes. Chocolate chip pancakes obviously being the logical best types. That's so sad. At Barrel Titer. A link we can't click. Is this the idol Barrel Titer produced? Yeah, I saw on SNS now. There isn't a name and I don't know where it's taken, but I kinda looks like Tanegashima. How is it now? I can't answer that. My days as a producer came to an end yesterday. Maybe she might become a legendary idol in a couple years, but that's okay. All A-okay. I see, yeah. Ferris wanted to meet that girl, but if the producer decided so, I won't say no more. Thank you, Ferris-san. This part of you is fantastic. That felt rather refreshing. Maybe Cinderella felt like this too. Thank you, big brother. I think I found my important dream. Nobody's pieced it yet. I assume that by the end of the day, Kai had figured it out, but maybe not. What do I know? I feel like there's a 50-50 chance he didn't. If it's okay with you, I'd like to help. Huh? No? I mean, I'd certainly appreciate it, but are you going to be okay at the first aid station? Yeah, I'm hoping the experience will be useful in the future. Huh? Are you trying to become a nurse, Airi-chan? Yes. I like Cinderella, but Nightingale doesn't sound half bad either. Huh? It's nothing. I want to experience lots of things from now on, so I can make a decision. I see. Sounds like thanks to this little episode, Airi-tan has started to put together a vision of her future. Maybe this whole idol craziness turned out to be beneficial for her. I wonder what path she will decide to take in the future. Heck, she may actually end up becoming an idol. What's up, Hashida-san? You look kinda happy. Of course I'm happy. I'm just glad to see Airi-tan back in her proper form as a... You'll never change. No, you won't. Damn straight, I will always be me. Anyway, I guess we'll go enjoy the last day of the festival. Let's go, Hashida-san. Huh? Where are we going? To go help at the first aid station, of course. Why me? Because you're my producer, aren't you? In that case, you have to take full responsibility until the end. Guess I have no choice. I'm all aboard. Guess I'll stick around until the final destination. In exchange, can you say, I'm gonna give you a big shot, big brother, in a nurse outfit? No. Oh, is that a corn dog? Oh, I want a corn dog now. If you keep saying stuff like that, I really will give you a shot. If you keep saying that, I actually will stab you. Now I want a corn dog. Alright, credits number 2. So we did the first two out of the recommended order, but I honestly don't think there was anything in one that... I don't feel like it mattered. I'm sure like as we go on it might make more of a difference what order we play them in, but I feel like those first two, the order didn't matter much. So that was Mesopause Converter, and then we had done Plasma Pause Resistor, so that's our next one over here. Load save 2 when this is done. So far both of the credits are different. Can I move this? No, I can't. So I may as well let it go, even though I'm sure all of these get flagged on YouTube every time. Every single one. Not a single one doesn't get flagged. But yeah. Also, hey the Vibin guy, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland to the chat. How you doing? We got 2 credits too. So we gonna get to the third one shortly. Gonna let them play out. Like so far they're different songs. If one comes up that's the same, I'll just skip it. She had her date, they had a good time, she turned back, and now she's kinda got a plan for her future. We, the player, don't know what it is, but she started doing, like, stuff to help out at the nursing station, so her experience helped her. So... that's about it. That's all it's been 17 minutes, so there wasn't a lot to it. It was just the date, they had some shaved ice, bought her a necklace, she turned back, and then they go through the rest of the festival and she's kinda got a plan for the future now. So, cool. Should have some tea while the credits are going. Just keep myself hydrated. Took the AC out because it's been getting so cold at nights that the AC wasn't really working. But with the AC in the window, I get no air in here. So like I couldn't benefit from that. So I just got the window fan again, but it's a little warm. It'll be nice in like an hour, but it's a little warm in the day. Till like end of the week. End of the week it's supposed to drop. It's actually a little warm. Let's go for the water. Of course, her credits had to be seen through Airi. My producer. Mesopause Converter cleared. Alright, on to the next. So let's see what that puts us at. Puts us at 2. Total playtime about 17 hours. CG library 39%. Alright. So we load save 2. So we got the saved, or locked saves for. Progress until map trigger. Oh, select robot lecture classroom. There we go. Did we do this? I think we might have done this one before. Or maybe not. Let's see if there's a switch around here. No, we didn't do this one. What are you doing here? No, Suburu-kun. What do you mean, oh? I'm going to save you some time and tell you you're not going to find any switches here. I already looked around. Did you really? Yes. Oh, you know, you could have gotten in touch with us or something. Did you really think we weren't at least going to search our own areas? Isn't that obvious? I bet you most others didn't. He sure likes to argue. Funny considering he was just getting all hyped about swimsuits a second ago. Well, based on my experience, these sorts are always majorly awkward. Did you need something? Nah, nothing. I mean, if that's the case, why don't you help us, Suburu-kun? Like I said, I don't have that kind of time. The most I can do is search my own surroundings. Is this where the Robo-Lec is supposed to be held? Yes, we'll be using this hall. Look around once again. Apparently this building is normally a store of some sort. It's actually quite well built. There are tables and chairs lined up inside. This must be where the kids are going to gather for the robot seminar. I don't know, pal. This place looks pretty much done to me. Since the building already exists, they only really need some tools and whatnot. And I assume Suburu-kun isn't arranging for everything himself. You gotta be kidding me. We haven't even decided what we're going to do yet. Then just pick something already. Easier said than done. Must be real nice since you don't have to do anything, but for me, this is one of the hardest things I've ever done. Suburu-kun says as he holds his head. Listen, we're talking about kids here, right? Do you understand what that means? Well, what does it mean? Look, children are from a completely different planet. No, they're monsters. What in the world is he saying? No reasoning or logic will make sense to them. No matter how you try to word something, they won't understand. What do you call someone who doesn't understand words? An alien. They're aliens. You're taking this way too far. How can one be expected to teach these kids about the ins and outs of robotics? That requires a logic and reasoning. Research regarding robot-related technology, mainly separated into different fields such as mechanisms, actuators, the structure of the arms and legs, sensors and sensing methods to recognize outside information, movement, the controlled functions of a robot, artificial intelligence, etc. It's half of the title and you're waiting until 17 hours in to give us that. Alright. Now do you get it? Do you see how difficult this is for me? Have you considered not thinking so hard about all of this? Suburu-kun raises his eyebrows in response to Yashio-kun's words. Excuse me. I can't do that. Any one of those kids could grow up to become a leading force behind robotics in the future. If I do a half-assed job here, that kid may lose interest in robots, leading to a great loss in our society. No pressure, you know. We can't just fool around with this. I can't help but think that a kid like that would be interested in robots no matter what, but I decide not to say anything. Plus, the Robot Club's continued existence may very well depend on the success of this festival. I will not let the Central T Robot Club, something we all worked so hard to rise from the ashes, go down in flames. Huh. By the time Suburu-kun is finished talking, Yashio-kun has a smile on his face. What's with that face? I didn't think you cared so much about the Robot Club. What are you talking about? That's not what I said. That's not why I said that. Yeah, I'm sure Aki-chan will be delighted to hear what you just said. But please don't. Don't tell the press. Isn't that you? Who cares? Anyway, you can't tell her, ever. It's nothing for you to be embarrassed about. Either way, I don't have a lot of time to waste. I gotta figure out what to teach at the Robot Lec, how to teach it and simulate everything from start to finish. So, you two deal with Kokimijima's madness, please. Suburu-kun says with a difficult expression on his face, then faces the laptop placed in the corner of the desk. From distance, I can see a drawing of some sort of circuit. Is he designing a document for the robot lecture from scratch? He doesn't need to go that far, but I guess that's just his personality. Suburu-kun teaching children, huh? I can see how this would be tough for someone like him. Having said that, neither Juntan nor Frautan seem like they'd do any better. Well, I'm sure Suburu-kun will pull through. You think so? He's actually really passionate about this kind of thing. As long as he can communicate that much, he'll be okay. I see. The two of us quietly leave so as to not disturb Suburu-kun, who is holding his head in his hands. Alright, next one is food court. Yep. This one we would have done, right? Yeah. Yep, did this one. Progressive tool map trigger sequence 3, select main stage. And that should put us on the right path. Great ball throwing animations. A water balloon, I suppose. So, considering that was the only one we did that wasn't like a required one, like this is a required one, I'm assuming this is going to be the Suburu path. And also, I'm thinking they set them up by ease of getting to them, as opposed to, like, you need to play A before B or whatever. I think the recommended path is more just like, these all come off of save 2, and then after this we go to save 1 again, so... oh, it's school entrance, right? Yeah. Alright, easy peasy. Everything gets better, yay. We got some Power Rangers, double yay. Alright, so when we get to the third one, select main stage. Airi root over? Yep. Also, hey Joe, how's it going? Welcome to Viper Lane chat. Yeah, so we got Airi and Frau done. It's looking like this one is probably Suburu, especially because the next one's main stage. Makes sense it would be Suburu. I'm just following the like recommended order, so it doesn't say who it is, it just says like these are the steps to go. Next one's your fave. Oh, cool, cool. Things are going good. Glad to hear. Always a good thing. I'm hoping it'll actually not skip things when I don't want it to, but we'll see. Sometimes it seems to work, sometimes it don't. Okay, so we don't need to save, we just need to make sure we hit main stage.
Oh yeah?
What's this? When I walk over to the stage, I spot a suspicious figure backstage. What's wrong? Look over there. That's... oh no, we saw this one. Okay. Yeah. Oh, because this is the required one, yeah. So since we did nothing else this one, it's gotta be Suburu. He's the only, like, non-integral one we did. I already forgot where it is. It's just at the hangar, right? It's been a whole hecking week, and I'm already like, where the hell was it in? There we go. Perfect. That should set us on the right route. Yep. Gotta see through all this. Gotta go through all this. Thank goodness for the fast forward. Pretty sure I'd wear out my buttons just button mashing trying to go through it. That should put us on this one. Oh yeah, no, we've cleared 2 routes. We cleared Airi and Frau. This should be the Suburu route coming up. The bit before you get to routes is quite a bit shorter in this one than on some of them. But there seems to be a route for every main character, I think. There's a bunch of them. The guide I'm following is spoiler free, so it just says like the steps to take, not what happens or like even whose route it is. It just says the name of the route, which is usually some scientific term. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can see in the icon who it's going to be. Yeah, so it's definitely going to be Suburu. Child was huge. Child was definitely, I think, the most massive of these games we've played. And I'm pretty sure the stream data backs that up, in that I think that was the visual novel we played for the longest time. And that was including, like, getting stuck for almost an entire stream in Robotics Notes 1, because I screwed something up. So yeah. I'm home. This is how my father greets me after getting home from the fireworks show. He's always like this. My father is a fisherman. He leaves the house before sunrise every morning and hits the hay soon after sundown. This daily pattern is at odds with the rest of the family schedule. To begin with, he's rough around the edges and reserved. At some point, the two of us grew pretty distant. I'm going to bed. Okay. Oh, sure. Good night. excuse me. Pretty distant, yeah. Very understated. I go to my room and head straight for my desk. Ever since I can remember, this room has been my castle. My father wanted me to inherit his fishing business. I'd always agreed to do as much, in front of him anyway. But the reality is that I loved robots too much to leave them behind. I once told my father that I wanted to go to college to study robotics. He objected, of course. Ever since then, I stopped saying the word robot in front of him. That conversation marked the end of my dreams, creating an even larger gap between the two of us. Or at least that's how it felt anyway. I want to work with robots. How many times had I told myself that this was the past, something that could never come true? But no matter how much I tried to convince myself, I was unable to keep my feelings to myself. Trying to shut down those feelings had the opposite effect on me. As robots were forbidden to me, the passion kept quietly burning inside. I disguised myself and entered a hobby robot tournament behind my father's back. I even won. This room was the only space where I could immerse myself with robots, away from my father's prying eyes. I eventually went to high school, and as the days passed, I was convinced that it would just become a fisherman. But that fateful day, I encountered Akiho Senomiya, my weirdo senpai. And after being forced to join the robot club, my repressed feelings came pouring out against my will. My father was livid when he found out that I was still into robots, despite my promise to leave them alone. On top of that, his anger reached a whole new level when I got injured while working on the club robot. That time, I really tried to quit. But even then, I couldn't. And so, during the intense cold of February this year, my father accepted my desire to fight in order to save the world. The previously closed-off door separating the two of us was slowly beginning to open, or so I thought. Despite what some would say, it's not easy filling the deep trenches that form between people over a long length of time. On that day when we saved the world, my father was there to help us. He even told me that he would be my legs. He congratulated me. But after that, every time I tried to bring up robots with him, I just couldn't bring myself to say the words. Similarly, my father never spoke to me about robots either. Is he still against me involving myself with them? I don't think that's the case. My father knows that I'm still in the robot club, even as a senior, and he hasn't once criticized me for it. So it's not like he objects to it. But either way, he doesn't bring up robots in front of me, and neither do I in front of him. It gets pretty hard to broach subjects like this after avoiding them for so long. So here I am, still struggling to tell him how I feel. The fact that I still want to study robotics in college. My father always wanted me to be a fisherman like him. Just as studying robotics is my dream, that was my father's dream. And I think honoring that dream is a son's duty. But on the other hand, I still don't want to give up my own dreams either. Time just passes while we both struggle to be honest about our feelings. What should I do? I vocalize the words that I've repeated in my head over and over again for the past 6 months. What do I want to do? But vocalizing them alone doesn't yield any answers. Dad. Yeah, not a situation I'd envy him for being in. Come one, come all. We got deep-fried flying fish. They're really good and freshly fried. Come try some. Where to next? There seems to be something going on over at the stage. One night has passed after all the craziness. With the Wazaika Gun Festival entering its main phase, the turnout has been unprecedented. There are stamp rallies and other events going on left and right. Sure looks like the festival is running in full force now. But what's up with you, Hashida-san? Yashio-kun spots me staring blankly up at the sky and walks over. Ah, Yashio-kun. I was just getting a little lonely is all. Oh yeah. Anything new here? My lunch today, I'm having udon. Chat robot. Okay, so the first day is usually about it. I feel like these are the ones we've seen. Yeah. Both his are starting. Okay, yeah, so the first day stuff's the same. It's true that there are more people at the festival than ever before. The Kokimijima craziness has a lot to do with this. An illusion of a mysterious robot suddenly appeared at the festival. TV stations and magazines obviously picked up on the news, and once it was made clear that no harm was done, people started flocking to the island out of curiosity. In other words, it's not a stretch to say that craze made everyone in the country aware of this festival. Except the illusion is long since gone. Like, a day. What are you saying? That whole thing was absurd, so we should be happy it disappeared. You're right, but a giant robot present until yesterday is long gone. It's only natural to feel a kind of emptiness. Anyway, are you planning on sticking around in Tanegashima for a while longer? Well, that's the plan. I want to see my waifu and daughter really badly, but I've come this far. I'd like to see this festival to the end. Plus, I still haven't accomplished my real goal. Why do you ask? Well, you know, I was just thinking it'd sure be great if you could just kind of check in on the Robot Club is all. The Robot Club? You seem more knowledgeable about robots than I do, and you're technically an adult, right? Only technically. I'm still a child at heart. So I thought maybe you could be there to console them when they need it. Yashio-kun casually ignores what I said and goes on about his hopes for me. Is it just me, or has he gotten kind of rough when it comes to dealing with yours truly? I'll just take this as meaning we've gotten closer. Okie dokie. If there's something I can do to help, sure. Really? I legit appreciate you saying that. I'm already on a southern island. Might as well spend time with the youngins while I'm here. Maybe I'll have my final chance at an adventure. Fighting game lingo, a player's last opportunity to win. That said, there are only a few candidates available to me who might need my counsel. Akitan, Juntan, Frautan, and Airi-tan. I don't know what you're talking about, Pots. It's clearly fighting game lingo. But as far as I can tell, Akitan and Yashio-kun seem like they're more than just friends, so I don't want to do anything stupid and get bit for it. So that leaves the three of them. Who should I go pal around with? Every one of them is charming in their own way. Let's just pick the first person I run into after this. It's absolutely gonna be Suburu. Alright, it's settled. Are there any Robot Club friendos around here? That's... Oh? Like a fact-checked every FG Thieves. Yeah, I feel like they hit more than miss, but they definitely miss some. It could also just be a translation thing, I don't know. We found one already. Hey, if you got any problems, I'll hear you out. Excuse me? What? Suburu-kun? Hashida-san? Fighting game... championship? Circuit? I always forget what the C is. Community, that's it, yep. What's wrong, Suburu-kun? You're looking under the weather. Of course I am. I said I didn't want to do this from the beginning. You're talking about the robot lecture? What else is there? Hold up. I don't like children to begin with. There's no way I can teach them about robots. Wait, I've got it! Yashio-senpai, can you take my place? I'll study for your exams in return. That's not how studying works. It's not how studying works. How in the world does that help me? Besides, I don't know nearly as much about robots as you do, Suburu-kun. That won't be a problem. The children may understand better if a person of your level... of your level speaks to them. You're definitely making fun of me. Is this going where I think it's going? What a joke. Why do I have to do this? Hey, Suburu-kun, I have a suggestion. Oh, look at that, I forgot I had some errands to run. I attempt to remove myself from this unfortunate situation, but Yashio-kun tightly snatches the sleeve of my shirt. Maybe Hashida-san can help. Wow. Him? I've seen this pattern before. Before. Hashida-san has a kid, so he's probably more suited to deal with kids than we are. Well, my little girl's not even 3, so... Sure, but you're probably more used to children than we are. I can deal with my own child just fine, but other people's children... It's the pro of backhanded compliments. I wonder if he even knows he's doing it, or if that's just how he is. That's when I noticed something pulling on the opposite sleeve. She's a very little girl, about 5 years old. Daddy? What? Daru has the ultimate dad bod. Everybody just assumes. Hashida-san, don't tell me she's... No. My waifu is my only waifu. I don't have any children with anyone else. Then who is she? Girl's face suddenly shrivels up, morphs into a frown, and just like that, large tears are rolling down her cheeks. Well, awkward. Yashio-kun, Suburu-kun, and Suburu-kun are still shooting me doubtful looks. I nonetheless ignore them, squat down to meet the girl eye to eye, and gently pat her on the head. There. Did you get separated from your daddy? No. The girl nods silently. Okay, gotcha. Leave this to me. Thank you so much. It's not long after taking the girl to the Lost Child Center near HQ that her father shows up to pick her up. Thank you, mister. I keep waving back at the girl, who repeatedly turns around as she waddles away. Impressive. You really are the best candidate for this, Hashida-san. Ah, crap! Seeing a crying little girl made me think of my own daughter. At this rate, I'm going to be stuck helping Suburu-kun for the duration of the festival. Ever since arriving on Tanegashima, I've pretty much been hanging with Yashio-kun the whole time. With the madness from earlier over, I thought I could enjoy some fun adventures, but sadly it looks like I'm stuck on Dude Patrol. Wait, I have a perfect idea! Fine, I don't mind helping you out. Really? But before that, maybe we should look for someone who'd be willing to switch places with Suburu-kun. That's possible. I think that would be ideal too. If one of the girls can take his place, I'd not only get to provide them with counsel, but I would be willing to teach them all sorts of things. In fact, I'd like to be taught a lot of things myself. I like how in like one scene he'll be like, no, I've never cheated on my wife, I would never, but also. Like, Daru's always Daru. Okay then, let's start asking around. I would switch places with you if I could, but Mr. President specifically asked me to do it, so... I really don't know anything about robots. Are you okay with that? Oops. If you're so desperate, I could consider it. But only if Four Eyes agrees to cross-dress and enter the contest. We just cut away. Jun-chan, Airi-chan, and Kona-chan are all unavailable. The only other person left is... Senomiya-senpai, but... Maki-chan, huh? Let's say we let her handle it. What do you think would happen? Well, she'd get fired. For not going to her job. Okay, we're going to start the lecture. Everybody here loves robots, right? That means you guys obviously know about Gun Barrel. Huh? You don't? You've really never heard of Gun Barrel before? That is unacceptable. There's no such thing as someone who loves robots but hasn't seen Gun Barrel, especially at your age. This is must-watch material. Alright, we're going to use the lecture time to watch Gun Barrel together. There are 3 seasons in all and 155 episodes, so that would take about... Yeah, that's exactly how it would go. We can't ask Senomiya-senpai. Right. Wow, so that's how everyone sees Akitan, eh? But they might be right. She'll probably start playing with the children instead of teaching them anything. That means Team Girl has been annihilated. In other words, I guess you have to do your best, Suburu-kun. Come on, turn that frown upside down. Hashida-san said he was willing to help in everything. Is this really how it's going down? Huh? You said you'd make yourself available for console, no? I sure did. Why's it gotta be a dude? Huh, what are you boys up to? Ah, this cheerful voice must be the one and only. That's right, I forgot about Naitan. Huh? I mean, she also has a job, but, you know, whatever. Sorry, I have to manage an event over at JAXA, so I can't help. Yeah, also an employed adult. Damn, I forgot that JAXA is also exhibiting at the Wasakai Gun Festival. Of course. Tanegashima is known for rockets, and the first thing to come to mind when it comes to rockets is JAXA. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that JAXA is Tanegashima's most iconic institution, and although the event is themed around robots, it'd be odd for JAXA to not cooperate. See, Hashida-san, you're our only hope. Are you helping Suburu-kun with this project? Naitan suddenly leans in towards me. Well, we haven't made a final decision on that front. Everyone but you has. She then firmly grabs my right hand with both of her hands. I knew you'd do it. I admire people who can look after the young. That's such an adult thing to do. Yeah, but Hashida-san doesn't seem very up for it. Personally, if you really don't want to do it, I don't want you to force yourself. Is that true? Oh, come on. Of course not. I'm an adult well known for its caretaking skills. Excuse me. A boy or a girl, let Itaru Hashida handle it. So we can count on you for counsel then. Of course. There, I said it. Happy. Naitan has gotten terrifyingly good at manipulating men. Granted, I'm at fault for letting her do this to me. I guess you can breathe a little easier now, Suburu-kun. I suppose he does seem to know how to deal with children. Maybe he will have his uses. Suburu-kun says as he turns towards me. I really appreciate your assistance. His tone comes off as kind of snotty, but there's not much I can do now that I've accepted the gig. Also, fan, why are you moving? Because I stepped on the cable. I'll just have to deal. Anyway, how are things going on your end, Yashio-kun? Things? Like what? Your studies, of course. If you don't get your studying in now, you'll never become an astronaut. Oh, I know it looks like I'm hanging around, but I've actually been studying pretty thoroughly. Yashio-kun explains as he shows us his phone droid display. There are all kinds of physics questions on it. Every time we've been at the festival together, he's been glancing down on his phone droid every chance he's had, so I assumed he was playing games or something. I guess he was actually studying. I was going to suggest that he'd be the perfect person to help Suburu-kun, but he has a pretty legit excuse. Good, good. Also, his excuse is he doesn't know much about robots. Story mode is what, 2 and 3? Okay, I assumed, but I'll have to go through it at some point. Today I did a few matches with Grim just to get some matches in. And tomorrow, I'll try to get at least my first one of the day, try to check the clothing stores, maybe keep enough of a positive balance to buy the clothes, we'll see. I don't know. During the week I probably won't play a ton. I'm basically going to aim for Saturday for it. I feel like Saturday would be a good time for another Splatoon day. But maybe I'll dabble in the story, I don't know. We'll see. My locker is kind of just haphazardly set up at the moment, but it works. If you see mine, it's fine. Good, good. It will all be worth it in the end if you work hard now towards your dream. Sure hope so. Naitan must have studied really hard to get to her current position. That's probably why her words have so much weight to them. Suburu-kun, you're studying for exams too, no? How's that going for you? Unlike Yashio-senpai, I've been staying current with my studies since the beginning. Oh, you're just gonna take that, Yashio-kun? I would snap back, but he's not wrong. I don't know if he's being a good loser or what. Glad to hear you've been studying. I guess that means you're planning to go on to college? Well, did you talk with the old man about it? Definitely not, no. Suburu-kun's silence says it all. We know it's his route now. I really wonder how how his route is going to manifest. I mean, I don't know if anything could beat Frau's, but I'm curious as to how his will. Looks like he's got bigger problems than just the robot lecture. My future is my own to deal with. Please leave me alone. Besides, I need to focus on the robot lecture right now. Anyway, I'll try to come up with a lecture program by tomorrow. You're doing it yourself? Yes. Just because he's helping me doesn't mean I get to delegate everything to him. Despite all his griping, this kid clearly has a strong sense of responsibility. So I'd appreciate any kind of constructive criticism you can give me based on what you see tomorrow, Yashio-senpai, Hashida-san. Suburu-kun stands up, says his farewell, and disappears into the crowd of people. With that kind of personality, he's gonna have a tough time going forward. That's just how Suburu-kun is. Maybe his personality is also getting in the way of his moving on to college. But that doesn't mean I just get to stick my nose into his business. It should be the next day, I think. I did advertise it, but can I do it? No, I have to. Hey, what's Pilates? Why is Pilates being all weak? Nonsense, stop it! I changed my account for a reason! got scared today, but I'm glad that kid was reunited with their parents. Ah, just to be clear, I love my wife, and only my wife. Too easy. Today was tiring, too. Thank you for your hard work. We're both so busy, but let's do our best. You mean, do our best. Do our bust. Thank you, that made me feel much better. And nothing on the others. I don't think we have any... I don't remember if we actually checked these before. Since these are all like loading previous saves, it doesn't really track that well. I said I was going to put together a lecture program, and I did. Robot lecture plan. As he declared he would, Suburu-kun came prepared with a summary of his lecture program. A so-called rubric, if you would. A document that contains the points summarized from a meeting or class, also used for material that references the bullet points or summary of content. Seeing that he has dark circles under his eyes, he must have been working on it late into the night. He hands it to me and I immediately notice how heavy it is. Considering it's a giant mass of papers held together by a large paperclip, I'm not sure this really qualifies as a rubric anymore. I'm going to run the Robo lecture based on this rubric. I can tell he put his heart into it. Suburu-kun speaks with confidence. Man, it'd take ages to get through all this. What do you think? Please tell me your honest opinion. I don't have time to look through everything and comment on it. Well, maybe I do, but it'd be a waste of time. When I glance over at Yashio-kun, I gauge his reaction. We meet eye to eye. Seems like he's on the same page as me. What's wrong? Please don't hold any punches. Tell me everything. About that. We can't really comment much until we give it a go. What do you mean? In other words, Yashio-kun and I nod at each other, then pull out my phone droid. My bad for calling you out all of a sudden. As an alumni, I'm there whenever a club member needs me, as long as I'm on break. Sorry, I can only stay here for my break period. I'm terribly busy, so get it over with in 3 lines, please. Yashio-kun and I summoned the whole robot club to join us during their break. So, what are we supposed to do? Suburu-kun is going to give you all a lecture on robots. All you guys gotta do is listen. Right, instead of reading through the rubric, it'll be faster if we actually have him do the lecture on a test environment. Basically, we're conducting a simulation. Since everybody is on their lunch break, it's no big deal if folks are eating. Oh, that sounds like fun! I'm surprised. You don't strike me as the lecture type, Aki-chan. You hated taking classes in high school. It's a whole different story when it comes to robots. Yeah, they didn't teach robots in high school. Figures. I don't know what I was expecting. My apologies. I know you're busy. That's okay. Maybe I can learn something that will help me over at the Battle Robot Tournament. No, Four Eyes role-playing as a teacher. Excellent. I'm looking forward to your lecture, Suburu-san. Thankfully, it looks like everyone is being cooperative. Okay, the stage is yours, Suburu-kun. Huh? We're already starting? Of course, we only have the lunch break, so you need to get on with it. Understood. Then let's begin. Suburu-kun steps forward and pushes up his glasses like an actual teacher, then scans everyone's faces. It's time to start class. He's actually pretty into it. The term robot comes from a Czech term for slavery and... As such, throughout history, robots have taken the place of human labor. Ah yes, this is definitely how... As manufacturing robots began developing, so too did military robots. So it's just a super dry history of robots. Take a look at this illustration. This picture represents the circuitry inside of a hobby robot. As you can see, its insides are not very complex. Mankind's greatest mission will be to figure out how robots will function in our world in the future. This concludes my robot lecture. After finishing everything he needed to say, Suburu-kun scans everyone's faces once again. There's a great sense of satisfaction on his face. I mean, it sounds like he gave a really informed and concise lecture on robots, but not one aimed at, like, little kids at a festival. Also not a short one. I feel like that was probably like 2 or 3 lunch breaks. How was it? Huh. Oh, is it over? Yeah. That was... super boring. Wow. Huh? Fraubo? Furuguri, what did you just say? Oh, you heard what she said. Too boring, lol. I felt like I was watching a French movie without subtitles. What? I swear I spied a pressed sound effect bubble appear behind Suburu-kun for a split second. That's how intense Suburu-kun's shock is after hearing Frau Tan's remark. Oh, wait a minute. I based this lecture on a rubric that I spent all night creating. You can take all the time you want. The crap is still crap, SMH. Ooh. Yikes. That was to the point. Wow, that was a painful Subaru sound. Poor guy. What did everyone else think? How about you, Sanemiya-senpai? I guess, I think it was a little difficult for me to understand. Akita-tan, you fell asleep right in the middle of it. Daitoku-senpai? Sorry, I couldn't keep up at all. Yukifune-san? I'm sorry. Yeah. If he was trying to give, like, a high school lecture on it, I feel like that was great. But he definitely didn't, like, make it suitable for his intended audience at all. Dang, he's fallen into a deep hole. Not that I can blame him. He spent his entire night working on that rubric. Where did I go wrong? And he's oblivious. This might be harder than I thought it'd be. First things first, why so serious? What's wrong with being serious? I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but remember what Akita-tan said. She struggled to follow along. What's the target age of this lecture? 8 to 12-year-old children is what I've been told. Then your lecture is way too difficult for them. That shouldn't be the case. At their age, I was already building my own original robot. That's because you're talented, Suburu-kun. Smart kids tend to think that everyone else should be capable of doing everything they can. So when they see less capable people, they often get annoyed with them. I'm guessing Suburu-kun has similar tendencies. Anyway, since you're dealing with kids, you have to make this lecture easier to understand. It also has to be more engaging. That's called pampering. Besides, isn't it rude to assume they won't understand from the get-go? This guy's stubborn. Anyway, this is the best I can do. If that's not enough, then I shouldn't be doing this in the first place. Not long after he says as much, Suburu-kun's expression darkens in response to his own words. Then... I'm sorry. He apologizes quietly. He's not a bad kid. This has gotta be rough for him. We all assumed Suburu-kun was stressed out from staying up all night, so we sent him home and decided to stay behind to come up with a game plan. Problem is that this all goes back to his personality, so I can't figure out anything on my own since I don't know much about him. I have a policy of not asking about people's private matters, especially when I haven't known them for very long. And hearing about it from someone else is even worse. But still. What's Suburu-kun's home situation like? Any issues with his family? How could I not ask? What's the deal at home? Yoshiki-kun's silence says it all. He doesn't get along with his old man. How did you know? Bingo. When you were talking to him yesterday, you asked whether he spoke to his old man or not. You know, about his future. Right. That's what caught my attention about him. A father and son relationship. If you don't mind, could you tell me more about Suburu-kun? Me? I don't think he would tell me if I tried asking him directly. Why would I tell you something even he wouldn't share? He's got a point. In that case... Fine, I'll ask Akitan then. Hey, Aki! I attempt to call out towards Akitan's back as she works tirelessly in the food court, but Yashio-kun covers my mouth. Hey, wait, what's the big deal? That's my line. What are you trying to do, Hashida-san? Like I said, I'm trying to find info on his family. About Suburu-kun. You can't. Aki-chan would definitely tell you if you asked her. That's why I'm asking her. Yashio-kun thinks to himself for a bit, then slowly opens his lips. Suburu-kun had promised his father that he would become a fisherman. His old man wanted him to inherit his fishing business, and Suburu-kun intended to do just that at first. But there was something he just couldn't let go of. Robots. It all started when his father bought him a toy robot. He fell in love with the robot he got when he was little, and that began his lifelong fascination with robots. As he grew up, his passion for robots grew accordingly. But after getting into high school, Suburu-kun promised his father that he would walk away from it all. Even then, his feelings for robots never went away. In fact, the more he tried to forget about them, the bigger those passionate flames inside of him grew. He started building robots behind his father's back. He went so far as to disguise himself so he could enter a hobby robot competition, and even won. But one day his father found out about it all. And as one would expect, the old man was furious. Yet even then, Suburu-kun couldn't give up on robots. He also didn't want to disappoint his father any further. As a result, they clashed. And, well, Suburu-kun broke. Aki-chan manipulated him into joining the Central Tree Robot Club, but he got caught and even got injured. Thus, he gave up on robots once and for all. That's when the incident happened. This past winter, the entire world was in danger. This you, Kai. Little A, little B, it's fine. And the ones to save the planet were the members of the Central T Robot Club. Suburu-kun saw us rise up, so he came back to fight with us. At the time, I thought his father had come to understand Suburu-kun's feelings, but... sounds like things didn't go so well. Yashio-kun doesn't appear to understand why or how that ended up being the case. But I can understand how Suburu-kun feels. Most teenagers would rebel against the idea of running along the rails that their parents had built for them. Some of them would try to get themselves off of those tracks. But for Suburu-kun, it was different. The flame kept burning quietly inside his heart, and it only grew bigger as external winds kept blowing through it. I can relate to Suburu-kun. There are some things you just can't let go of. Dreams you can't abandon, a future you desperately desire above all others. Having those things just comes with being a man. But... Hashida-san, are you crying? It's just... I can understand how his father feels too. His own child, who he believed in, lied and broke their promise. And to make matters worse, behind his back, Suburu-kun was pouring his everything into the thing he banned him from. How could a father possibly feel after spending so much time trusting that his son would follow in his footsteps, only to have that dream crushed? He should probably be like, oh wow, my kid's got a dream of his own. Yeah, I should be happy for that and let him follow it, because that's his dream. Would he praise him? Or... if I found out that my daughter was obsessed with something I didn't know about behind my back, would I be able to keep my cool? I'd hope so. Really? Was obsessed with something I didn't know about. Maybe there's something missing in translation or something, but I feel like that's not a big deal? Oh no, like, to be fair, as an example, my parents don't know jack all about Pokemon. They've probably picked up a small amount via osmosis, even though, like, me and my brothers were big Pokemon fans growing up, and now my nephew's a big Pokemon fan. They don't know much about it. They didn't hate us or my nephew because of that. Maybe there's something more here that's just, like, lost in translation. Or maybe it's a cultural thing, like... And then she starts saying things like, I don't want to take a bath with you anymore, Daddy. Don't put my underwear in the same laundry with yours. So he goes full Daru, yeah, you know. Hashida-san, you're going on a bit of a tangent. Oh, my bad. When it comes to my daughter, I just... So, what's all this have to do with Suburu-kun's lecture? It might be nothing. What? I thought maybe there'd be a connection, but perhaps they aren't directly related after all. But as a father myself, I'm curious about the discord with his old man. However, first things first, we have to do something about the Robo lecture. Not that we have many options. I whip out my phone droid and pull up one of my contacts. What are you gonna do? Just leave it to me. The Robo lecture hall, event hall is more crowded than it was the day before. Also, whose Twitter are we on? Regarding that thing, looks like everyone's going to help out. Oh, nice. Tonks. I think tomorrow will be hot again, so ice cream would taste good? Oh, okay. Got it. I wonder how long my child will take baths with me. If she starts saying, Daddy, it'll be dirty. What is he tweeting, huh? Just thinking about it brings tears to my eyes. Are you okay? I can listen to your stories. Let me know anytime. All of me cried due to Airi-tan's kindness. Would you like to be my daughter? Sorry. Yeah, I figured. Jeez, I wonder how serious they are. Oh, I read that one. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Let's get this over with. Hey, I want snacks. Can I get snacks, right? I heard there were food coupons. What in blue blazes is going on? Super-kun says with his hands on his head. Head in his hands as he sees a crowd of about 10 bratty kids making a ruckus in the event hall. I thought it would be best for you to get used to dealing with kids if you're going to be lecturing them. And so I had Juntan lend me a helping hand. Daru tweets do be something, yeah. Sorry, I know my brothers are a bit crazy. Brothers? Are all of them your little brothers? Super-kun glances at the 10 or so loud kids running around in the event hall. Ah, I actually only have 3 little brothers. They're just the students at my dojo. But they definitely all have a bit of energy. Oh, I see. I had heard that Juntan's family runs a karate dojo, and that a bunch of kids gather there to train on certain days of the week. So I asked her last night if she could bring them here today. Children are opportunists, so they won't simply agree to something just because you ask them. Hence why I baited them with snacks and food court coupons, so that they would agree to show up. Bribing always works. Suburu scans the event hall once again and frowns. Yo. This is just... Yo. He's calling you, Suburu-kun. Huh? Me? Yeah, you. He must be around 12 years old. Suburu-kun is clearly uncomfortable with the way the kid is staring at him. What's with you? I'm older than you. That doesn't make you better. You're just you. Now, Suburu-kun, cool your jets. So what's the deal? Are you Sis's boyfriend or something? Sis? Takes a second for him to recognize the meaning of the word. You mean... Suburu-kun suddenly gets flustered. No, I'm not! Toshi, how many times do I have to tell you? So it's true, huh? True, huh? Ah, Masa. And you too, Shin? I'm so sorry, Hidaka-kun. My brothers are so rude. These brats, I mean, these children are your little brothers? Yeah, I know they can be snots, but they mean well. I swear, I hope you can forgive them. I see. Suburu-kun smiles bitterly as he inches away from the children. I expected as much, but it looks like Suburu-kun can't handle children in this age group. Well, what's the answer? Huh? I'm asking if you're Sis's boyfriend. Are you deaf? By the way, when I first met them earlier, they never asked me if I was her boyfriend. Yeah. Yeah. How rude. I told you earlier, I'm not. Daitoku-senpai and I aren't like that. Are you sure? Sorry, but he's telling the truth. Suburu-kun's a 3rd year in school, and Jun-chan's former club buddy. Okay, fine then. Wait a minute, why are they so obedient with you? Suburu-kun looks frustrated with Jun-tan's little brothers, especially after they easily accept Yashio-kun's words. If you say so, Master. Master? This goes back to when Yashio-kun first visited Juntan's house. Her three brothers apparently thought he was going to steal away their beloved sister. In response, Yashio-kun challenged them to a battle. In KB, that is. Ever since then, they've apparently been addressing Yashio-kun as a master. The master of robot fighting games, I guess. So, Yashio-kun still resolves problems with KB, eh? Suburu-kun's words are laced with disgust, but I don't think I'm the only one that feels like there's a hint of admiration in his voice. At any rate, the little brats started calling Yashio-kun master after he brutally defeated them in KB. And said master is the one who easily clears up the misunderstanding surrounding poor Suburu-kun. Anyway, he's going to be your teacher for today. You're going to learn a whole bunch about robots. Okay. Come on, teach. Hurry it up. I'm listening. I'm listening. Suburu-kun frowns sourly at the clear difference in their attitude between him and their master as he takes hold of the rubric he must have spent last night remaking. As you can see, robots depicted in anime have evolved. What were once called super robots have now become real robots. In this case, the term real doesn't necessarily refer to something realistic. The fact that a humanoid machine... Hey, did you guys catch Kamen Rider this week? Fiction, a super popular live-action hero series. It's the first series. In the first series, the protagonist was modified by a dark organization who he fights alone. Since then, it has gained major support and now has multiple series. I have no idea what that could be. I did, it was so cool! Hey, where are the snacks? So no better this time. After the children leave with snacks in hand, Suburu-kun falls to the floor, his head bowed. I'd never seen such a perfect oars pose before. Maybe that was a little high level? I tried my best to dumb it down so it'd be easier for children to understand. He included anime-related topics to try and create an easy hook, but it turns out that the topic itself is too complex for anyone to follow. The girls in particular didn't seem to care at all. Many of the women in my life are like anime fans and nerds, so I never really considered them special or all that rare. But now that I think about it, I suppose girls like Akitan are pretty unique. The children that came today don't seem like they cared much about robots, to be honest. Right, I'm sure the students that come for the robot lecture will be different. Suburu-kun desperately tries to cling to the shabby lifeline that Yashio-kun tossed to him. But, I don't know about that. Juntan, how did kids sign up for the robot lecture? Most of them signed up from the festival's website. Some of them signed up on the day of. That means these are kids who are already at the festival and are deciding to check it out as an afterthought, right? That would be the case. At the end of the day, this is the Wasakai Gun Festival. It was originally the annual local gun festival, so it's not all about robots. In other words, not all of the children are into robots to begin with, right? That's right. Suburu-kun hangs his head again in disappointment. He's been going up and down for a while now. It's actually kind of funny to watch. That's why I said this is a losing battle. Hey, Hidaka-kun. I'm not capable of teaching anybody anything to begin with, let alone children. This is insane. I give up. Suburu-kun suddenly gets up and approaches Juntan. I mean, why do I have to be in charge of a robo lecture? I'm way more fit to handle the Battle Robots tournament. This is a huge staffing mistake. Then take it up with Mr. Candy. Hidaka-kun? There's still time. Daitoku-senpai, please switch places with me. Heck, I'll even take Yashio-senpai. Dude, Suburu-kun, calm down a little. This is humiliating. Quite simple, so just make a robot fishing boat easy. Also, Eric, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. I suppose elites like Suburu-kun are way more sensitive than dregs like me. Since they haven't experienced much failure in their lives, they perceive a small trouble to be some kind of fatal mistake. And after such a humiliating experience, they're unable to get back up on their feet. It's a constant downward spiral from there. Unfortunately, I've seen lots of people like this in my lifetime. I don't necessarily believe that Suburu-kun will end up like them just because of this one failure, but there's no guarantee that he won't either. Suburu-kun, why do you think no one listened to you this time around? Please don't insult my intelligence. It's because they were uninterested, even I could tell as much. Then, the solution is rather simple. Huh? It means that you have to first start by getting people interested. Interested? Yes, that's true. No matter how much you talk about something, if I'm not interested in the topic to begin with, I wouldn't want to listen. It may be especially true for children. Exactamundo. In that case, it's clear what you need to take care of first. I mean, I have to get them interested in robots. Suburu-kun slowly raises his face after looking down this whole time. Bingo. But children are like animals. They get distracted easily and forget things at the drop of a hat. How am I ever going to get them to care? Excuse me. Let me ask you a question, Suburu-kun. Why did you become interested in robots? Me? Suburu-kun thinks deeply to himself for a moment. I first saw a hobby robot tournament on TV and... What is it, Suburu? Do you want one of those? Yeah, I want one. I see. Then you better be a good boy. Okay, I'll be good and I'll study a lot. Suburu, let me show you something cool. Something cool? What do you think this is? I forgot that it was definitely a Zoid. I forgot that it was absolutely 100% a Zoid. Sunkun, how about not talking down to them? Yeah, no, that would also be a thing. Kids is just the brand name. Brand name, Kids. Wow, a robot, you brought me one. I made a promise, didn't I? I tell you all the time that real men don't break promises, right? Yeah. There, make sure you take good care of it and build it right. Okay. And make sure you don't give up midway through, okay? I got it, I promise. You're a smart kid, Suburu. I'm sure you'll finish this thing in no time. Bipedal robots were a dream within a dream at first, but the robot he brought me meant so much to me. As Suburu-kun recalls the distant past, he has an almost childlike wonder on his face. Then, how did the gulf between you two get so wide? How do you know about that? Sorry, Suburu-kun, I told him. It's not Yoshu-kun's fault. I got curious, so I pushed him until he spilled the beans. Suburu-kun looks at her faces one at a time, then sighs deeply in resignation. Blue Lion or Zoid? No, it's okay. It's not like I have to hide it or anything. The reason is simple. I broke the promise I made with my dad and kept up with robots. I told him I would become a fisherman, and yet... But you want to pursue a career in robotics, right? Have you told him that? Only once, and he vehemently objected. Any other times after that? I never brought it up again. Why not? I mean, what if he says no again? Is he afraid of his father? Yeah, a bit. No, that's not it. I mean, it's also that. He's afraid of being rejected again. Afraid of his dreams being rejected. Afraid of his future being rejected. And to him, all of those things mean he himself would be rejected. According to what Yashio-kun told me, it seems like Suburu-kun's father finally accepts the idea that his son is into robots and will be going forward. But on the off chance Suburu-kun brings it up again and his father rejects him, the wedge driven between the two of them will be permanent. Maybe it's the fear of this happening that's causing Suburu-kun to freeze in place. So how does this old man feel about this? At the end of the day, I'm scared. I'm afraid of confronting him again. It's not easy to confront someone face to face, even when that person is a member of your own family. But maybe your father feels the same way. Huh? As I've gotten older, I've realized something. No matter how old people get, no matter how much they seem like they've matured, deep inside they're pretty much the same as when they were young. Sneaking around like a stalker. True, but they're both just too soon to do anything about it. You can get married, become a mother or father, and act tough, but people really don't grow up that quickly or easily. They struggle and do everything they can to play their role as a parent. Your kid calls you daddy when they're little, but they eventually grow older and start to develop an ego of their own. They become their own person. At that point, you start to question, what is he thinking right now? Does he hate me? All kinds of things. One day your old man discovered that you decided to walk down a different path than him. The little boy who said he wanted to be just like Dad was no more. That must have terrified him too. All of a sudden he found himself not knowing how you felt about him. Not knowing something like that is a terrifying thing, friendo. Dad is afraid of me? You said he's scary to talk to, right? Those sort of people are usually the most scared on the inside. He can't get the words out because he's scared. He can't ask you what do you want for yourself in the future. Suburu-kun, you have to give this another shot. Try to understand where it's coming from. That goes for your father. And the kids that come to the robot lecture. Kids? Yep, it all comes from the same place. Quite frankly, I'm shocked. Yashio-kun utters after we part ways with Suburu-kun and Chuntan. I'm shocked too. I didn't think Suburu-kun would listen to what I had to say like that. But, well, I think Suburu-kun was pretty bummed about all this. Maybe that's why he was so willing to listen this time around. People are more or less honest when they're feeling vulnerable. Especially kids like Suburu-kun who have never known failure. That's not what I meant, Hashira-san. You're the one that shocked me. Me? You legit caught me off guard. I didn't think you understood Suburu-kun's father's feelings like that. Ah, sounds pretty accurate, didn't I? Yashio-kun stops walking and shoots me a surprised look. Don't tell me you just pulled that out of thin air. Of course I did. My daughter's still little. How would I know what it feels like to have a child that age? In fact, I took those lines from my favorite Eroge. Of course he did. I learned everything important there is to know about life from Airi, by the way. Alright, I can't screenshot it, but hold on. No, not selfie cam, thank you. There we go. I feel like an idiot now. Oh, it's Suburu time. Hashira-san's words repeat in my head. All of a sudden, he found himself not knowing how you felt about him. Not knowing something like that is a terrifying thing, friendo. He can't get the words out because he's scared. Dad, scared of me? My father is the absolute authority in my life. He is always strict, dignified, and unwavering. How could he, of all people, ever be scared of me? Can't argue the fact with Daru. Yeah, he's... Oh, what do we got over here? Oh, people are going to expect stupid things from this Nintendo Direct. I appreciate that that's very clearly a joke one, but like, they said in the announcement it's going to be about 40 minutes worth of stuff that's going to come out this winter on Nintendo Switch. So anybody who's thinking it's going to be a giant announcement of something, it's probably not going to be, unless it's something they're going to be like, by the way, it drops in 2 months, which it could happen. But anytime Nintendo says direct, people go, oh my god, it's going to be insert game that's massive that they wanted for a while, which, hey, I hope so for their sake. Like, I know people want some of these, like, bigger anticipated games, and, like, I hope so. But when they specifically tell you what's going to, like, be the theme of the Direct, and that doesn't fit with those big releases, and then people get upset because it doesn't have those, it's like, you played yourself. They told you not to expect that, but you expected it and then got upset because it wasn't there. You did it to yourself. The only thing I'm really hoping for, I want more news on that Square Enix Rune Factory style game, which I think is coming out this year, so might fit under that umbrella. I think that's coming out end of year, but I might be mistaken. It might be early 23. I could be mistaken. That's the only thing that I'm hoping for, but I'm going to tune in anyway. And State of Play. I don't really know what to... Oh! No, I don't know what to expect from State of Play. I was going to say more info on, like, the Resident Evil DLC, but they're going to wait for the Capcom show for that. So I don't know what the State of Play will be, but I'll tune in. But, Suburu-kun, you have to give this another shot. Try to understand where he's coming from. Did I ever try to understand my father? I always felt like he could never understand what I was going through. But maybe I was the one that was holed up in fear, unwilling to consider how Dad felt. If what Hashida-san said is true, I go to the living room and make eye contact with my father, who just happens to stand up. Judging by the time, he's probably about to go to sleep. Dad. Huh? I want to pursue a career in robotics. Will you forgive me? What's wrong? No, it's nothing. I see. And considering that at least Capcom has been making a big deal about like their thing and how that's going to be like where they're going to do new Monster Hunter news, I doubt they're going to drop any new Monster Hunter stuff on the Nintendo Direct in any way. So we'll just, I mean, it's only, what, 3 more days until the Capcom one? Oh darn, we'll just wait a few days. The man, a few words, heads to his bedroom. I did it again. I couldn't say anything. All the times that I've avoided communicating with my father weigh heavily on my lips. He's lost some weight. Dad's back has gotten smaller than I thought, and realizing that makes me just a little bit sad. You know, I still think heroes are the way to go. I also think Twitter is the way to go. Master, huh? Not bad. Nope, nuh-uh. I have to put KB away. Time to study. Good job. I got to try harder too. Granny said that eroge is life. When my daughter was born, I sadly let it go, but it still lives on inside of me forever. Just to be clear, all my wife told me was to do something about them. It was my decision to get rid of them. Don't get that part confused. Who are you talking to? I know I'm overthinking it. If I was like my senpai. Question mark? It's not about you, senpai. And who is it about? I'm sorry. You apologize, and that confirms it. Sorry. No, because I was so stressed out about the Yomejo contest, I bought a ton of thin books. My wallet is so cold. What have you done? Tomorrow I'm throwing my humanity away to thin books. Jojo. I'll be waiting at the venue tomorrow. Yes, Naisama, yes. Yesterday I went to visit Beryl Tider's home. Daru wasn't there, but I talked a lot with his wife and daughter. Does Daru fulfill his role as a father? I don't mean to interfere with private life, but both wife and daughter are very lonely because Daru has been away from the house for so long. I guess that means he is a good father. They've grown close through watching Omen Rider on Sunday mornings together. The fact that it's Omen Rider and not Pre-Kuro means his daughter has a promising future, nya. You wouldn't understand. Life is always in danger, slipping away bit by bit. Ooh, that made me want to go home right now. Maishi lunch. Karaage lunch set again. That's so sad. The thin books of JoJo, I'm sure those exist en masse, especially of the type she'd be overly interested in. Only 40% of all robots in the city have been repaired. Okay, so we had already seen this one on a different day. I'm hoping it's not anything different. Yeah, okay, we'd already seen that chain. Okay. And we're just gonna save, because it's been a few in-game days. Akitan says as she places her food down on the table. Today, Suburu-kun came to us expressing that he wants to give this robot lecture thing another shot. Yashio-kun is here with me too. Akitan's comment came as the 3 of us were in the middle of discussing things over lunch at the food court. What about Heroes, Senomiya-senpai? I wonder if this one's going to have any electromagnetic waves interference, because so far it's been just straight normal. Huh? Weren't you talking about things that could grab a kid's attention? Sounds like she overheard our conversation. Sorry, Aki-chan. Can you repeat what you just said? I said heroes. Don't kids around that age like heroes? Like Tanagashiman is pretty popular with the kids, right? Tanagashiman is the local Sentai hero series that I caught on my TV in my hotel the other day. Considering they do shows and public events and even have merch, they must be pretty popular around these parts. Heroes, huh? Yashio-kun says before delivering a spoonful of curry and rice into his mouth. Wait, what is this? Why is this so sweet? Oh, I tried putting Ano's sweet potatoes in it instead of regular potatoes. How is it? I made it especially for you, Kai. If it turns out good, I'm thinking about asking the manager to add it to the menu. Ano's sweet potatoes are fine and all, but these are dried, aren't they? Yeah, I felt like the sweetness would be more concentrated that way. I'd maybe not tell the manager about this. After seeing Yashio-kun's reaction, a look of disappointment washes over Akitan's face. Oh, alright. I thought it'd turn out good. Have you considered not drying the potatoes? Despite his complaints, Yashio-kun completely clears the plate. I can tell he's trying to be considerate. But for now, more importantly... that might work. It really won't. The flavor of dried potatoes doesn't mesh well with curry. Wasn't talking about that. Then, what are you talking about? The hero thing, duh. Ah, that, but isn't it mostly boys that are into hero stuff? Tisk. You're too green, fair child. If you've been watching the Sunday morning shows for the past decade or so, it's common sense that girls like fighting heroines too. I also liked them when I was little. Akitan nods in full agreement. Sunday morning shows? What are those? Beats me. Jeez, why are these boys so disappointing? Anyway, like Akitan said, kids love heroes and heroines, so we should definitely consider that angle. But what exactly are we going to do? Bring in a guest or something? We don't have the budget for that kind of... Oh, Super-kun. Ever the daydreamer. I'm not daydreaming anything. Oh, I wonder how they could tie superheroes to this. When I start poking at Suburu-kun's side with my elbow, he doesn't even try to hide the annoyed look in his face as he swipes my arm away. What a buzzkill. You say that, but I know. I pull out my phone droid from my pocket, boot up an app, and show my screen to Suburu-kun and the others, who adjust their doubtful gazes accordingly. This is... By the blessings of the 7 goddesses, I descend to Earth from 400 light years yonder. I am... a star cluster located near Aldebaran, the first magnitude star of Taurus. In Japan, the Pleiades star cluster is also called Suburu. Its name refers to the 7 Pleiades star, the sisters of Greek mythology. Perfect. What? Hashida-san, how do you have that? As Suburu-kun turns red and tries to take my phone right away, I laugh audaciously and duck away from his hands. You must never underestimate how wide my web of information is. Whoa, that's awesome! In reality, I simply had Juntan tell me where it was. What does Mr. Pleiades have to do with the robot lecture? Huh? Are you being serious right now? Are you really that slow? Are you really somebody who, like, wouldn't recognize your good friend Airi if she just grew, like, a foot of height? Well, excuse me for being slow. Sounds like he really doesn't get it. I glance at Akitan, who similarly seems lost. Only one person here has actually caught on. You're saying we should put on a hero show with Mr. Pleiades as the main hero, eh? A live show for kids that features action heroes. Most of them are performing on top of department stores or inside large shopping malls. Mr. Pleiades? Hero show? That's right. Bingo. Oh, I'm getting pumped. You gotta be kidding me. Suburu-kun and Akitan yell completely different things simultaneously. Why should I have to get on stage and act like some kind of children's attraction? Because you're trying to make something that appeals to kids. To teach them about robots. Not acting like one, you are one. Then this really is absurd. I object. Why? Mr. Pleiades is going to be a hero. That's going to be awesome. The kids will love it. That's not the issue. Mr. Pleiades wasn't created to be a character in a stage show. Then, what was he for? He's the mask with which I used to live in the shadows. That sounds even more like a hero. Please keep your mouth shut, Sanomiya-senpai. Akitan lowers her shoulders after Suburu-kun shoots her down with authority. I personally think this is a good idea. What? Yashio-senpai, what are you talking about? It appeals to kids. Gotta find a way to keep the kids interested, right? Heck, folks do hero shows at malls to draw customers. I don't think it's such a bad idea. I know, right? But Suburu-kun's morale is low after taking fire from an unexpected direction. Mr. Pilates becomes a hero of justice and faces off against an evil organization. Then out comes the hobby robots. The children will definitely get hooked. Of course, all the lecture business after that is on you, Suburu-kun. Still, not a bad starting point, right? I pulled this out of nowhere, but it's starting to feel like a pretty solid idea. Yeah, I really am a genius. That's all fine in theory, but I doubt it's going to be that simple. Plus, hero shows at malls work because they feature heroes that everyone is familiar with. No one knows about Mr. Pilates. It'll be fine. That's when a loud voice suddenly explodes from behind us. We turn around to find a huge man standing there, triumphantly. Nakafukada-san. I overheard everything. That's an interesting idea. Wait a second. We haven't decided on anything. Mr. Pilates against an evil organization. If we make this a big show, it could become one of the festival's main attractions. Everyone will be happy. The kids will be happy, and I'll be happy. Hashida-san, you're the best. I know, right? But I won't be happy. Then we just have to make it so you're happy too. You know? I give the guy a lot of slack, but I'm glad that's his reaction. It's like, then we'll just have to make it so you're happy too. We got this. But how so? You gotta figure that out for yourself, pal. That's just... this is getting exciting. Alright, well... his heart's not in a bad place, but he's also like, ain't my job. Bye. Hey, wait a minute! Mr. Kennedy walks away while laughing loudly. He clearly doesn't hear a word of what Suburu-kun is trying to say to him. As for the man of the hour... it's over. Once that man starts something, there's no turning back. He again falls to his hands and knees and hangs his head low. Come on, you don't have to get that depressed. Seriously, you're gonna really... Wow, I missed that whole start. Seriously, you're actually really in the zone when you Mr. Pilates, Suburu-kun. I honestly think this could work out for you. Easy for you to say. Easy for you to say that when it's not your problem to deal with. Suburu-kun maintains his depressed pose for a bit, but eventually gets up sluggishly and turns his back to us. Suburu, where are you going? I'm going home for today. I can feel the sorrowful aura surrounding him just from looking at his back. Now then. Huh? Going somewhere, Kai? There's no use hanging around here by ourselves. I gotta go home and get some studying in. Oh, then... Is that who I think it is? I look in the direction of Yashu-kun's fingertip to find... isn't that Suburu-kun's dad? There's no mistaking it. I'd recognize that tough-looking face anywhere. What's he doing here? I mean, wouldn't he be here for the festival? In fact, he's looking at the festival map right now. He must have a destination in mind. Huh? Isn't that the direction of... Yeah, let's go. As Yashu-kun runs off, I follow closely behind him. Wait, Kai! Sorry, Aki-tan. Gotta go. I think Aki-chan was about to say something. I wonder what it was. Who knows? Probably something like don't bother him or interfere with anything, but we're gonna go bother him and interfere with things right now. That's for you to think about on your own. I feel for you, Aki-tan. Oh, or something like that. When even Daru's like, dude, she clearly likes you. When Daru has proven to be fairly oblivious to that for a... I mean, mind you, that was a long ways back, but still. Daru hasn't changed a lot. Yashu-kun suddenly stops in his tracks. This route leads to... Yup. Suburu-kun's old man is making his way to... the Robo Lecture venue. That's right, the very place where Suburu-kun will be teaching children about robots in a few days. His father stands still and gazes at the venue. Because his back is turned to us, we have no way of knowing what sort of face he's making. Hashida-san? I decide to approach the older man directly. He immediately turns around, surprised by my sudden approach from behind. Hello, my name is Hashida. After seeing Yashio-kun off to my side, politely bow to him, Suburu-kun's father's eyes widen in surprise even more. What are you doing here? Nothing. I just happened to be passing through. Passing through, eh? He was most definitely trying to find this place on the map. Like father, like son. They're both stubborn and insincere. Anyway, you have business with me or something? Oh, nothing too important. I see. Then I hurriedly stop Suburu-kun's father as he tries to hastily make an exit. Hold on. Now, no reason to be so cold. It must be some work of fate that we ran into each other like this. Can we chat for a little bit? I have nothing to talk about with you. Oh, come on, don't say that. After standing directly in front of him, he frowns slightly and eventually lowers his shoulders in defeat. Keep it short. We find a nearby bench and plant ourselves down there. It's about Suburu-kun. I managed to bring up the issue, but I don't know where to steer this ship next. While contemplating my next move, Yashio-kun steps in and makes the magic happen. You're worried about Suburu-kun, aren't you? You came here because you're worried about him, right? The older man keeps looking ahead without responding. At the end of his gaze is a close-knit looking family happily walking together. Are you still bothered by what happened last year? I don't know the deets of what happened back then, but whatever it was, based on the painful expression that formed in his face the moment Yashio-kun mentioned it, I can tell that this is the wedge that's been driven between him and Suburu-kun. If it bothers you so much, you should talk to Suburu-kun about your feelings. How could a man just have feelings and talk about them? He mumbles. How could a man just go back on his word? How could a man make somebody who was not old enough to know the weight of the words he was promising swear off his dream? There's two sides to this story. Yes, Suburu broke his word, but you made him swear to his word at an age where he didn't realize the weight of that, swearing off his dream forever. That's asking a lot of somebody who didn't understand what they were agreeing to. Pride. It's only natural for man to honor his own pride. It's embarrassing to walk something back as if it was nothing. A generation ago, in our father's time, these types of people were common. I was born at the tail end of that generation, so I can just barely understand the feeling. But I imagine it's probably pretty tough for kids these days to wrap their heads around that kind of thing. But that sort of pride is worthless. Flustered after hearing Yashio-kun's careless remark, I quickly look at Suburu-kun's old man's face. Figured he might get upset, but... Worthless, huh? You may be right. He says, still looking forward with sorrowful eyes. The family from earlier isn't there anymore. Can I ask you something? What is it? Why did you want to train Suburu-kun to become a fisherman? Suburu-kun's aspirations for the future are at the root of the deep trench between him and his father. In that sense, Yashio-kun's question is perfectly appropriate. But will he respond to such a personal question? That doubt ends up being for naught. When Suburu was still small, he told me that he wanted to become a fisherman like his old man. A child's dream. His words must have been sincere. He must have really felt that way at the time. It must have given his old man so much joy to hear his son say that, and all kinds of great expectations and dreams must have been born out of that joy. But children grow up. And as they grow up, their world expands past their home and family. All of a sudden they're being exposed to unfamiliar things and ideas. They start socializing with more people. Their interests change and develop. Their vision for the future changes. I guess maybe I felt like he was leaving me behind. Parents are forever chasing after the shadows of their young child. Maybe that's what it means to be a parent. Perhaps he felt like the love Suburu-kun had for him would be stolen away by robots. What you need is an opportunity. What do you mean? Both Suburu-kun and his father have been at odds for so long they can't talk to each other openly, right? So if they just had the opportunity to talk, I think they could reclaim some of the time they've lost between each other. That fated incident earlier this year should have been that chance, but they let it slip past them. And that lost opportunity created another huge wall between the two of them. But it's not as though there aren't many more chances. We can create as many as are necessary. At least I believe so. Do you have a moment? Yashio-kun asks as he stands up, looking like he's been thinking about something. There's somewhere I want to bring you. We're here. Since Yashio-kun came on his scooter and Suburu-kun's father rode his light truck, we all loaded up on my rental car and headed to... Is this the old Tanegashima airport? That's right. So, what are we doing in an old airport? This is where it all happened. This is where our robot club built Gunbuild. Gunbuild. I believe that's the name of the giant robot that the Central T Robot Club built. If I remember correctly, the Let's Build a Life-Size Gun Barrel project. Yashio-kun walks ahead of us along a large paved path. It looks like a lot like a runway. And waiting for us at the end of that path. A hangar? We haven't used it in a while, though. Wait here. Yashio-kun opens the door to the hangar and heads in. It's too dark inside for us to tell what the place looks like from where we are. It should be around here somewhere. Yashio-kun fishes around the hangar for a while, but eventually raises his voice. Found it! Yashio-kun exits the building covered in dust. He has something in his hand. As soon as Suburu-kun's father sees what it is, his expression changes. That's... Daddy will be back home soon, okay? I'll bring back lots of souvenirs, so you be a good girl. After getting to speak with my lovely daughter for the first time in a while, I lay down with a warm feeling in my chest. As long as we keep communicating like this, our relationship will stay healthy. I hope. Right, that's how it's supposed to work. There's no way my daughter would one day start ignoring me. What did you do today? Who did you play with? What did you learn? As long as we keep communicating like this, I can watch my little girl's world expand without having to feel lonely. At the end of the day, the current state of Suburu-kun and his father's relationship is the end result of a lack of communication. The two didn't have any time to come to understand each other. If so, I'm such a nice guy. There's no reason for me to go this far. But I'm already all aboard this train. I've got no choice but to ride it all the way to the last station. Just a second. Save and get some tea. At the end, the monster has to grow huge and do battle with a giant robot. A giant robot? That's impossible, lol. Oh, come on, that's a staple of hero shows. Otsu for toy manufacturers. What if the enemy monster gets horny for Mr. Pilates? This is a kid's show, Frau. Excuse me? The Americans would love to see Mr. Pilates get all wrapped up in tentacles. Yes. And Frau's like, that's me, I'm Americans. You're the only one that wants to see that, Frau Bo. Enter Yashio-senpai and his love for Pilates. Why does Kai show up all of a sudden? Hey, is it really safe to leave the hero show script to these two? Probably. I decided to let Akitan and Frautan write the hero show itself. Excuse me, I could have done it, but I just can't get motivated when the main character is a dude. I mean, I figured it'd be better to let them handle it themselves. Thanks, Daru. We definitely need the hero to get backed into a corner at least once. Backed into a corner, you say? You two are thinking two very different things. Yeah, might as well have a bunch of enemies beat him up. Press-senpai, not a bad idea. Not bad at all. Thought they might be too busy for this, but clearly I was wrong. They seem to be having a blast. Is everything okay on your end? Not really. Because of the hero show, I've been busy arranging a whole bunch of things. I have to talk with Mr. Candy about the budget later on, too. Not very good at that kind of stuff, but since I'm the one who proposed this, I've got no room for complaints. Then you should hurry up and go see Mr. Candy. But there's something important I need to do before that. Tomorrow? Replies Suburu-kun with a frown. He's currently groaning at the rubric in his hand. His father made the exact same face. Like father, like son. Maybe that's why they're at odds with each other. Yes, because they're... Yes. Isn't it obvious? I don't have time for anything like that. Come on, he's just gonna sit there and groan the whole time anyway. He might as well hang out with us for a bit. Where are we going exactly? If you could tell me that, I'll reconsider. Do you really want to know? I mean, yes? Okay, but it's a secret. Calm down, Suburu-kun. Hashida-san, don't tease him. My bad. When I see a kid this serious, I can't help but want to tease him. Suburu-kun, consider this a favor. Just for a little bit, please. You too, senpai. What are you guys plotting? You'll know if you come. Come on, please. Whoa, whoa, cut it out! Suburu-kun grows flustered upon seeing Yashio-kun bow his head down. Ah, fine, if you insist, senpai. So you're coming? Just for a bit, okay? Only for a minute. Alright, you'll be fine. You'll be able to head home whenever you want. Oh wait, it's a new day. Hold on. Twitter. Clearly. Not getting hyped. Now, what kind of story should I write? Mr. Pilates is tempted to the dark side and something happens, and then the leader of the dark side will... Can you guys talk about something serious? I'm planning it to be a seriously heated up story. I'm about to heat things up. Got a problem. I say heated up, but I mean like how thin books get spicy. Feels like it was a mistake leaving it to them to... Sure, it's fine. Was it okay to say that? Yeah, it'll be fine. If we told him the truth, he would never agree to show up. Sure, but you have to be forceful with kids like him, otherwise they'll never change. Jeez, kids can be tough nuts to crack. Ah, Hashida-san, there you are. I was looking for you. Oh. Mr. President is waiting for you. Roger that. Anyway, Yashio-kun, I'll see you tomorrow. Huh? I'm coming too? You're kidding, right? Of course I'm not. Things only became reality upon being observed, and you're an observer. Many thanks. Hey, wait! Oh, drag him along. And he's gone. I blankly stare as Hashida-san's titanic body runs off and Juno approaches me. How's Hidaka-kun doing? Do you think he'll make it? Beats me? It's all up to those two. Those two? Suburu-kun and his old man. Hidaka-kun's father? Is he going to run the lecture? Oh hey, what made you think of that? Huh? Aren't we talking about the robo-lecture? She's right. This all started because we were talking about looking after Subaru's robo-lecture. Then at some point it suddenly became about him and his old man. Why does Hashida-san care so much about Subaru's family issues? Heck, he shouldn't even care about whether the robot lecture goes well or not, and yet he's trying to get both things to go smoothly. Is he just being a nice guy, or is he... And anyway, why the heck am I hanging out with Hashida-san like this every day? Never mind. I don't care about Hashida-san. What's up, Yashio-kun? Did something good happen to you? What? You've had this happy look on your face for a while now. No, we're doing a good thing for a friend, hopefully. You're seeing things, Shun-chan. I don't know about that. I'm dead tired. I glance over at the clock. It's 5 in the morning. Tanegashima is located further west in Tokyo, so the sun rises later. Also, it's a new area. What are they going to be? Oh, grade 2 small ship. Cool. Do you have any other ships with tags? No? Just one grade 2 small ship? I mean, it's something. Alright. And Twippo. Not an urban legend left by Kokimijima. I feel like the C ones are the same regardless of chapter. Yeah. What is an observer? He sometimes says things that are not comprehensible. Correction, not sometimes. Always. Geez, so aggressive when we don't have that much time. Nonetheless, what are they planning to do? Anyway, I must go to sleep for tomorrow. I forgot the time looking at channel. Only 2 hours left until I need to wake up. Oh, Daru. Today, Tanakashima has fine weather. Waves are calm. It's a perfect day for a voyage. See, sometimes you get the Airi weather report. You just get it on Twitter instead. Sorry for waking you up. Get some rest. Oh, wait, hold on. Was there any A? No. Things have just started to brighten up. You look sleepy. Didn't get much shut-eye. I only slept about 2 hours last night. Weren't you the one that scheduled this little meetup? I don't normally go to sleep early. I can't just randomly go to sleep whenever I want. Duh. Yeah, trying to change your sleep schedule takes a little bit of time. Just... my neck just hurt for some reason. Yeah. I was able to pull all-nighters back when I was younger, but my body can't keep up with that sort of thing nowadays. Yup. On the flip side, Yashio-kun seems to be just fine. Youth is a treasure. I almost stayed in bed to let Yashio-kun deal with everything today, but since I was the one that chose the meeting time, I couldn't let this slide. Suburu-kun's running late. Is he even going to show up? He'll be fine. Given his personality, once he says he'll do something, he'll... Oh! Mid-speech, I catch the figure of a young man walking towards us. Top of the morning. He literally says, "Good morning." What? Alright. Good morning. Unlike me, Suburu-kun's face shows no signs of exhaustion as he looks around the area. So, what are we up to this early in the morning? You'll know in a little bit. That's when we hear the sound of a small truck engine. It's almost like it was waiting for my alarm. Huh? Suburu-kun looks in the direction of the sound and gasps quietly. The light truck comes closer to us and parks on the side of the road. An older gentleman steps out of it. Dad, why? Let's go. Huh? Go where? Just come, then you'll find out. Suburu-kun is dumbfounded at the sight of his father, who gets back into his truck without saying much. Eventually, perhaps after stealing his resolve, Suburu follows him into the truck. Well then, shall we get going too? We're really going with them? Of course we are. What's the point of waking up this early if we're just gonna go home? Sure, but I'm not really... I shove the complaining Yashio-kun into my car and follow behind the truck. An hour later. Lo and behold. We're at sea. Hey, hold on tight over there. Yes, sir. Ooh, whoa. That's what happens when you don't brace yourself with both feet. Gee whiz. Work your hands if you're gonna work your mouth. Daru's dead. My bad. Hey, care to explain why we have to participate in this? I know, right? This is definitely not what I had planned. Do you think Daru would ever plan for physical labor? No. My plan was for Suburu-kun and his father to go out fishing together so they can have some bonding time while Yashio-kun and I watched from afar. But Suburu-kun's old man is relentless. The second we got out to sea, he started going after us just as hard as he does his son, maybe even worse. And so here we are. Suburu-kun's father silently puts out the fishing nets, and we've been helping. I thought they'd engage in an intimate father-to-son conversation over some light fishing, but the fishing stays the primary focus the entire time. Did you tell his father about your plan? Of course I did. I told him that they should talk to each other and come to an understanding. And look where that ended up. Hey, less talking, more working. Okay. Why does it have to shake so much? I guess this is what it feels like to not have your feet on the ground. Especially now that we're offshore, the turbulence is more extreme. It feels like we're twisting and turning all over the place. And thanks to that, the bread I ate from the convenience store prior to coming here is going in one hell of a journey through my stomach. Ooh. I may have underestimated the ocean a little bit. Are you okay? You're looking pale. I'm, not okay. Hey, City Slicker. Are you fine with this, Yashio-kun? Well, I'm no city boy. Oh please, it's not like country folks are all used to the open ocean. Oh, no, I can't. If you're gonna throw up in the water. Don't you dare do it inside the boat. Before I can get a word out, I run over to the side of the boat and lean my upper body overboard. Very triumphant music for throwing up over the side of the boat. Mm-hmm. Of course, Daru would have to be seasick. The world is shaking. Both earth and steel are thought to be rock solid, but when observed over a long period of time, even they flow like water. Maybe now that I'm drifting and rocking like this, I've become one with the world. I glance over to see Suburu-kun's profile. He's standing right next to me. Is he worried about me? That was my first thought, but I quickly noticed that he's looking at a completely different direction, paying no mind to me. I follow his gaze, and at the end of it is a man of the sea, guiding the nets while beads of sweat roll down his forehead. Dad. Every morning before daybreak, this man has been coming out to sea to support his family, awkward as he may be. What does Suburu-kun see in his father's back right now? Reverence, awe, or perhaps... All I did was watch his back. When I was little, I wanted to become a fisherman. Every single day, my father would go out fishing before sunrise and come home in the afternoon. Once home, he'd go out drinking with his neighborhood fishing buddies and go to sleep by sundown. We barely ever crossed paths because of the way he lived his life. Still, I wanted to be like Dad. I wanted to have a family just to make sure to spend no time with them. Like, I get the working bit, that's, but then immediately go out and drink the night away and then come home and pass out. Yes, that feeling was genuine. At the time, I really felt from the bottom of my heart that I wanted to become a fisherman like Dad. That's just how broad his back looked to me. Broad and reliable, but also scary. Oh, little mini Suburu. What do you want to be when you grow up, Suburu? Excuse me. A fisherman. I want to be just like you, Dad. I want to become a fisherman like you, Dad. Is that right? A fisherman, eh? That means your old man's got to work extra hard so that the two of us can go fishing together when you get older. I'll never forget how happy he looked when he said that to me. And that day... Suburu, let me show you something cool. Something cool? What do you think this is? My father wore a bashful smile on his tanned face as he handed me a large box. It was the robot building kit that I'd always wanted. It wasn't a bipedal model, those were expensive back then. It was a quadrupedal, animal type. But even then, I was so happy. It wasn't just that he got me a robot, it was that he got me a present. That in and of itself was enough to put me in high spirits. You're a smart kid, Suburu. I'm sure you'll finish this thing in no time. Hey, Dad, let's build it together! What? With me? Look, your old man's not very good at that sort of thing. Come on, pretty please? Alright. How does this work? Let me see, this goes here. See? I'm not very good at this kind of thing. That day, Dad wore a bright smile on his face as we built the robot together. That's right, that's why I fell more and more in love with robots. It's because he looked so happy. If I built robots, I'd be able to make my father happy. Eventually, my desire to become a fisherman faded away and was replaced by my dream to build robots. But even as I started building robots, Dad gradually stopped smiling. I thought that if I made more impressive robots, maybe he'd smile again, but the harder I worked on them, the less happy he became. I want to be just like you, Dad. Dad, that wasn't a lie. I really wanted to be like you. But now, right now... Dad. Despite calling out to him, he doesn't turn around. He stays focused on his nets. But I continue speaking nonetheless. Dad, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Dad. But I still love robots. That's why Suburu-kun. while Hashida-san lies on his side like a dead sea lion. Yeah, I know that mental image is pretty appropriate. Suburu silently watches his father's back. I have no clue what's going on in his mind right now. Is he thinking about his childhood, his future? Suburu keeps watching his father guide the fishing nets. Then finally, what we just heard, he resolutely calls out to him. But his father just keeps tending to the nets. He must have heard him. Even I heard him. There's no way his ears are that bad. Dad, I'm sorry. Suburu yells again with everything he has. It's not that I hate fishermen, it's not that I don't want to be like you anymore. But I still love robots. Suburu yells his heart out. Everything he could never say, everything he wanted to say, he screams it all out. That's why Even then, Subaru's father shows no signs of facing his son and saying something kind or understanding. His father's back is turned against him, speechlessly. Whatever, just come help me, the man says. Dad? I'm telling you to help me pull the nets. Ah, okay. For someone like me with very little life experience, I can't wrap my head around his response. What are you doing? You too. Huh? Me? Godspeed, Yashio-kun. I met the both of you. Are you serious? And so we pulled nets for the rest of the day, confusion lingering in our hearts. This is weird. How did this happen? My plan was for the two of them to work together on the boat and learn the importance of acknowledging one another, thereby deepening their familial love. And if things went well, they would be returned to shore as close as could be. Then they'd take a bath together, wash each other's backs, and reclaim the time that they'd lost. Why did it turn out like this? If Frau knew, she would lose her mind. Suburu-kun, this is too much. There's no reason to hesitate at this point. Yeah, but why has it come to this? Sorry, for making you tag along with this. It's literally our idea. I don't mind. Everybody needs a breather every once in a while. Frau would lose her mind. The fishing itself went pretty well. Having said that, since this was my first time, I don't know if we really had a good catch or not. What Frau sees normally, yeah, correct. But it wasn't a total bust. Suburu-kun's father seemed pretty satisfied with it, so it can't have been all bad. After fishing, we took the catch and went back to Suburu-kun's place. And what was waiting for us there was a hot bath. Much appreciated after getting sticky in all the sweet seawater. We were discussing who should go first, but none of that ended up mattering. Subaru's old man insisted we all go in together. Totally get Yashio-kun and Suburu-kun getting in together. They're high school buddies who have spent countless hours together. They must have a lot of catching up to do, but do I really belong with them? My attempt at persuading Subaru's father otherwise ended in failure, so here I am. I admire you, Yashio-senpai. Oh man, if Frau knew that sentence happened in this situation. Seriously? You found what you want to do and are taking the necessary steps to make it a reality. That's incredible. Yeah, well, it took me right up until graduation to figure that out. Compared to me, you're way more incredible for finding what you want to do so early in life. But I'm a coward for being too afraid of the wall in front of me. I've been stuck in place the whole time. Besides, I don't think it's ever too early or too late to pursue your dream. Yashio-senpai, you're moving forward as we speak. That should be enough. Suburu-kun. That's why I knew it. You haven't realized my true feeling. Daru and Frau are the same person. They're the same person. Feelings. Do you mean... Yashio-senpai, you're such a broad back. Gosh, Suburu-kun, what are you doing? What am I doing? Isn't it obvious? No, it's okay, Daru can have that one. Excuse me, Hashida-san. What in the world are you saying? Oh, sorry, I just felt a little out of place. I couldn't help it, they're the same goddamn person. Cut us some slack, we don't need another Kona-chan. He's right. The thought of dealing with two of her is terrifying. You've been dealing with two of her the whole time. If Frau Tan ever saw this, she would freak out. Some photos would catch a high price with her. By the way, Yashio-senpai, how are you in Senomiya-senpai? Suburu-kun suddenly changes the subject to one I share an interest in. What do you mean, how? I mean, aren't you two dating? Bam! I was wondering about that myself. I heard they were childhood friends, and judging by the way they talk to each other, they're clearly on good terms. But it doesn't seem like they've quite reached the boyfriend-girlfriend level yet. Not that I plan to do anything, even if Akitan did turn out to be available. Thanks, good. My waifu's the only one for me. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious about their situation. For sure. Also, is my chair caught on my... Yep, cable. Of course, always. Thanks. Yeah, no, he definitely was saying it all out loud. Is there something on my face? Calling me surprised. I didn't think you were interested in that sort of thing. And a person do you take me for, Yashio-senpai? For a Suburu? No, I didn't mean it that way. It's not like I thought you had no interest in girls or anything like that. I just assumed you never really cared about other people's business. If anything, I'd say he has a very healthy interest in women. But he seems like the type that cares too much about appearances, that he struggles to present himself honestly. I guess that goes for Yashio-kun too. Well, when it comes to total strangers or celebrity scandals, I have no interest in them whatsoever. But it's a different story when it comes to my family. I see. So I guess it means you consider us family too. If nothing else, we're close enough to take a bath together. True enough. That would also make me family, given that I'm bathing in the same tub. Yeah, but you fought against it. Unfortunately, I don't have much to say on the topic. Is that so? Really? Nothing at all? I mean, I'm studying for college. It has nothing to do with it. There are plenty of people who are in relationships while they study for college. Everyone's different though, right? It sucks, but right now I'm already overwhelmed with my own issues, never mind anything else. He's so young. If he keeps telling himself that, he's going to be my age before he knows it. He should be trying to experience whatever he can while he's able to. Granted, it's a weird thing to say to the kids who saved the world. That may be true for you, Yashio-senpai, but that's not necessarily the case with Senomiya-senpai. The socially awkward Suburu-kun actually speaks the truth on this one. Aki-chan said, she said that it's important for me to pursue my dreams, that she'd support me no matter what. Do you think she's being sincere, Yashio-senpai? No, it really isn't my place to say any of this. I'm sorry. It's alright. Look at these two. Love, future, dreams, they have so much to think about, and it may be hard right now, but one day all of these things will come to a head. Once you're an adult and have to deal with real-life problems, it's too late. So think long and hard about this stuff while you still can. Jeez, I'm really starting to sound like an old man. Embrace it, be the old man. Whoa! Ah, yes. As soon as we get out of the bath, we're greeted with a whole array of food on the dinner table. Suburu-kun's father clearly got the jump on us as he's sitting down with his glass of beer half empty already. Yashio-kun takes a seat facing Suburu-kun, who's sitting next to his old man, so I take the seat facing him out of necessity. Once I park myself, he immediately holds out a bottle of beer. Here. Oh, I'm okay. When I reluctantly refuse a bottle of beer, Suburu-kun's father frowns at me. What, you saying you can't drink my alcohol? I mean, I did drive here, so... Not a drinker? No, I'll have some. I hurriedly hold my glass out and he pours the amber-colored liquid into it. That's good. Come on, chug it down. Chug. Well, I'm up in my years now. I've known to go drinking with pals these days. Heck, just the other day, one of my buddies... let's not go there right now. Damn it, Daru! Anyway, I don't really feel it's appropriate to start drinking so early in the day. But the feeling of this being kinda taboo makes the beer taste even better. This is the life. I like the way you drink. Here, have another. Oh, no. Let me serve you first. Oh, well then. Much obliged. That's good. Hashida-san, I thought you were seasick. That was when I was on the boat. Now that I'm on land again, I'm back in the game. And any leftover nausea got washed away along with my sweat during our bath. Isn't that swell? By the way, Yashio-kun. That's right, Yashio-kun. Here, have a drink. I can't, I'm not old enough yet. Don't be so serious. Here. His tan probably hides how drunk he already is. Probably. Glad you finally got some rain. We got ours yesterday and the day before. Which was much needed. Very much needed. No thunder lately. I still, even after knowing what happened to Potts, I still kind of would like to have a summer storm, but I think I'm going to go and get newer surge protectors for the same reason. Excuse me, there's a hiccup. His tan oh, wait about that. Super-kun's father tries to pour beer into Yashio-kun's cup. Dad, stop it. You can't force someone to drink. Huh? Took a hurricane off the coast, get a tiny bit of rain. Yeah, it's better than nothing, but yeah, need a little more. Super-kun returns from helping his mother in the kitchen and stops his father in his tracks. He lowers the bottle with a sour expression on his face. Why do you always gotta be so straight-laced? You ain't never gonna be a man of the sea with an attitude like that. Super-kun's face tenses up for a second in reaction to those words. A man of the sea. Is he still against Suburu-kun pursuing a career in robotics? But Suburu-kun doesn't push back any further, instead placing a large plate down on the table. Whoa! It's covered in all kinds of meaty pieces of sashimi. Wait, is this... the fish we just caught? They're damn good. Let's dig in. I don't hesitate to reach for the sashimi. It's so good! That there is a broad club cuttlefish. A large cuttlefish that can be found near Kagoshima and Okinawa. In Japanese, its name is kobushime, which comes from the dialect kubushimi and means a large cuttlefish with lots of ink. It's a particular species of squid. I've had cuttlefish in Tokyo, but this is super different. It's a crunchy texture, and the more you chew, the more flavorful it gets. This fish is delicious too. Those are Berix splendens, and those are monbiki, a type of perch more commonly known as dolphin fish. They can grow fairly large, up to 2 meters, and weigh up to 40 kilos. Its name comes from how strong it pulls, monriki, which turned into monbiki. In different regions, it's also called monsaku, shibitokurai, and in Hawaii, it's known as mahi-mahi. Monbiki? They're called dolphin fish over on your end of the coast. They're pretty fast. You don't see them served as sashimi much. Ah. What is it? Nothing. I didn't think you were so knowledgeable about fish. Of course I am. I am a... Suburu-kun cuts himself off mid-sentence. I set this up so the two of them could come together, but I guess it's all the same. These two have probably been this way for a long time. When one side tries to get closer, the other side backs away. They've maintained the same distance from each other this way since forever. But at this rate, nothing will change. I need to show that I'm an adult and lay it out like it is. Or so I thought. Let's go. Bottoms up. Oh, thank you, thank you. And before I know it... oh, Hashida-san, you're a funny man. You too, sir. You're great. Drink up. Have another. You have some too, sir. Our little feast gets amped up, and eventually... too much alcohol. Hashida-san is lying on the floor with his arms spread wide, making a weird noise. Maybe he has sleep apnea? A disorder where a person pauses their breathing or experiences periods of shallow breathing during sleep. Since it happens during sleep, it can be hard to be aware of it. Symptoms include difficulty concentrating and chronic tiredness. Early treatment is needed since this may lead to major conditions such as arrhythmia, cardiac infraction, and strokes. You should be careful. Hashida-san is fast asleep, but since he can't drive home tonight anyway, Dad told me to let him sleep here. Yashio-senpai must have determined that hanging around here would be pointless, so he pretended to go to the bathroom and quickly went home. At the end of the day, Dad and I are the only ones left. Dad is still drinking on his own. I personally struggle to understand what's so great about alcohol. He starts drinking with his buddies early on in the day. In all honesty, at some point, I started resenting seeing adults like that. You'll understand once you become an adult fisherman. That's what Dad always told me, but... Dad. I pour some water into a cup and offer it to him. You shouldn't drink so much. It's bad for your health. He nods lightly, takes the cup, chokes it in one go, then slowly stands himself up. After all that drinking, his feet are still firm. Are you going to bed? Yeah, give Hashida-san a blanket, would you? That's the last thing he says before trying to leave the living room. It's all the same. Nothing has changed. I haven't closed the distance between us at all. Thanks, Dara. I know full well why Hashida-san did what he did today. It's pretty obvious. What am I supposed to do? I tried my best to close the gap between us, but Dad's the one that keeps backing away. Hashida-san was right about everything. I love you, my daughter. So... Today, yet again, even I know this is bad. I've always run away. I ran away from confronting the robots I love so much. I ran away from confronting my own father. It's the same with the festival. I kept whining about having to teach children. Kids are obnoxious, insane, and they don't understand words. So I didn't want anything to do with them. I had no intention of dealing with them. But maybe, just maybe, if I faced them head on, if I were able to confront my demons head on, and succeed, then could we come to an understanding? Maybe we can. No, it's not about can or can't, it's about whether I want to or not. That's why I... Dad! Just as my father is about to disappear past the door, I unconsciously call out to him. He freezes in place, ready to close the door. My father silently waits for me to speak. Dad, I have a favor to ask of you. Can you come to the festival, the day after tomorrow? For some reason, these are the words that exit my mouth. The Robo lecture is the day after tomorrow. Considering the current situation, I don't know what it is that I can demonstrate to my father there, but if I can successfully teach those kids, maybe something will change. Maybe I can start looking my father in the eye. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it's all I've got. I silently wait for my father's response. He quietly mutters, "If I feel like it." Wow. And just like that, he closes the door. It shouldn't be any brighter than usual, but somehow it feels that way. Last night I ended up falling asleep at Suburu-kun's house, and by the time I woke up, the sun was beginning to rise. Just around the same time that Suburu-kun's father was about to head out to sea. Though I knew he started his day early, I was still surprised as I headed back to my hotel room from Suburu-kun's place to get some more shut-eye. By the time I woke up again, the sun was high in the sky. After getting up, I read a message from Yashio-kun on my phone droid, and because I drank more last night than I usually do, I finally managed to drag my hungover body over to the festival. By the way, Yashio-kun's message read as such: Hashida-san, come to the festival. Straight to the point as possible, and completely lacking in any important information. Where are we meeting, and why? But I already know that it's something important. As soon as I arrive, Yashio-kun is of course already there, and I'm checking Twitter. How shameful of me to pass out. I might have caused problems for Dad-san. Don't worry about it. It's his fault for making you drink that much. Also, you might have sleep apnea. Please be careful. Oh, okay. Ah! What's going on here? Can it be? I won't accept it. I won't accept anything besides Senex for her. Suburu is motivated. I don't know what happened, but I'm glad. Four Eyes is motivated. Gulp. Are you saying that the one-night experience changed him? Gulp. I'm sorry. I'll never forgive you. Never forgive you. I'm sorry. It's a lie. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so, Bernie. So she's convinced. Yeah, she's convinced something happened between Daru and Suburu. For some reason. Ah, Hashida-san, finally. What's up? Something happened? That's my line. What happened after I left last night? Why? 'Cause look. Yashio-kun points his gaze elsewhere. there I see. Sennomiya-senpai, about this part. Huh? Where? On the 4th page. Isn't this a little too complicated for a child? You think so? It's unknown even to it is unknown even to God. Feels a little too complex. Shouldn't we use a simpler expression? Okay, what would be a better example? Let's see. Can I go ahead and fix it once I come up with something later? Sure. Whatever works for you, Suburu. Thank you. Also, Furugori. What? What do you want? You wrote this paragraph on page 10, didn't you? What's your source? Origin, documents, historical materials, news, wherever you get information from. For online forums, due to misinformation and fake news, it's important to provide the source if you want others to trust you. Source? I mean, I just know. You can't make accusations like that without a source. Sennomiya-senpai would never write about Kabedon, nor would she write about how the enemy leader is actually the hero's estranged brother, or how they fall in love. You useless scum! Call the manager! You're not fooling anyone. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut this entire section. That wasn't the deal. You said I could do what I want. Within the scope of everyone's comprehension, that is. Lala would understand. Anyway, I'll fix this section. Okay. You see that? He's been working really hard today, so I thought maybe something happened last night. I see. I get why Yashio-kun is surprised, considering how Suburu-kun was complaining so much about this up until yesterday. Now all of a sudden he's aggressively putting himself at the center of the robot lecture preparations. Even I'm shocked. Despite my best efforts to have them come together in the boat yesterday, neither of them made much ground. But when we got back at night, the two of them barely said a word at each other after we started drinking. At least as far as I can remember. I mean, I did fall asleep. Well, you know, I worked a little magic. No biggie, though. Crap. Why did I take credit for this? Why did he? Something wrong? No. It's true that I have no idea what happened, but I did create the opportunity for something to go down yesterday, indirectly leading to Suburu-kun being motivated today. I deserve some credit, right? He did try to get the ball rolling. Hey, Suburu! Now, don't call me that. It's Suburu-san, or Big Brother Suburu. Fine, Big Brother Suburu. Big Brother. Whatever. Can you repair the robot at our house? Shouldn't you ask Doc instead? If we ask Grandpa, he'll start lecturing us. That he would, but then you might as well learn how to fix it yourselves. It's more fun that way. Do you think I can do it? Sure, we just have to learn how. Really? What about me? Can I do it too? Of course. Hey, what about girls? Can girls do it too? Absolutely. Hidaka-kun is amazing. He's already getting along with my brothers. I'm seriously shocked. I never knew Four Eyes was a Shoto lover. They're the same person. They're the same person. Just like that, Akitan and Frautan are showering Suburu-kun with praise. The surprise is well warranted. Until just the other day, he could barely communicate with children. Now look at him. The biggest difference is how he looks at them. He squats down to their eye level when talking to them. This helps close the sense of distance between them, making him easier to talk to. Knowing Suburu-kun, he probably learned that somewhere and is applying it to this. And it's no mistake that at the center of all these changes lies the issue with his own father. I don't know what Suburu-kun plans to do, but watching him become motivated, I get the feeling that there's nothing to be worried about. All I need to do now is watch from afar as an adult. Well, I might as well give him one last push. Jeez, I'm way too nice sometimes. Yeah, he did. That's also something my waifu loves about me. At long last, the day of the Robo Lecture has arrived, including the pre-festival activities. The Wazaika Gun Festival has been running for 2 weeks now. These last 3 days will be its grand climax. And Twitter. It's been a while, everyone. I have good news for you. Today, I, Mr. Pilates, will appear at the Wazakai Gun Festival held in Tanegashima. The show is called The Mr. Pilates Show. Come by and cheer me on. Will everyone have fun? I sure hope so. Don't worry, they'll have lots of fun. Thank you. Counting on you tomorrow. Wow, that scared me. I heard a girl scream inside the house, and that's what happened. Apparently, it was practice for tomorrow. But still, it sounded a little too realistic. This is weird. There isn't time to sleep today again. Well, I guess I'm already on a boat. Might as well ride it to the end. This is my lifestyle. Too easy. I do have a wife and a lovely daughter. Alright. Cool. There are way more events occurring during these 3 days than up until now. The festival's crowdedness is proportionate to the excitement of the final days, and today is the second of the 3 days. Among all of the events, the Robo Lecture should have been the least exciting, but because of the added value of it being a hero show, it became one of the main attractions. There are billboards that read Mr. Pilates Stage Show all around the festival, and folks are handing out flyers too. Excuse me. By the blessings of the 7 goddesses, I descend to Earth from 400 light years yonder. I am Mr. Pilates. The flyer even includes the iconic line he recites upon appearing. Pretty sure Mr. Candy made all of this considering no ordinary person could prep it in such a short period of time. That being said, I've also done my part. Not sleeping. What a big yawn. You're like a giant bear. Oh, Airi, long time. Long time no see. Guess I haven't seen Airi much these past few days. You seem tired. Have you been sleeping enough? Well, no. I've been busy with stuff. These past couple of days have been wild. Busy with stuff? You mean for the festival? Kinda, and kinda not, I guess. Seems complicated. That's how life is. I've been doing some stuff for a small idea I came up with, but it kinda spiraled out of control and became something way bigger than I intended. And the kicker? I have nothing to gain from it. I briefly considered chucking the whole thing into the trash, but ultimately I decided to see things through to the end. I wonder how the preparations are coming along. The Mr. Pilates stage show is meant to attract visitors to the Robot Lecture. The show will go down in the morning, with the Robot Lecture itself taking place in the afternoon. Huh? Is something going on? Airi whispers as she steps into the green room. Aki-tan and the others have already gathered there, looking worse for wear. What do we do? It's over. It's totally over. Come on, Fraubo, don't give up so easily. What's the matter? Hashira-san. We're actually in a bit of a bind. Oh boy. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this. We just got a call from one of the people we asked to play the villain today. They're not going to be able to make it anymore. A common enough problem. Then why don't you ask someone to replace them? Yashu-kun has some free time in his hands, doesn't he? Well, the rental costume is really big. Kai's too small for it. I wonder who could wear it. Yep, I knew it. Oh, this is all going like I expected. And there aren't a lot of other people we can ask. Even if we could ask someone, that person has to have a large body, be familiar with what's going on, and be a nice enough person to do it in the first place. Aki-tan glances over at me repeatedly. Fine, I'll do it. That's what you want, right? Huh? You'll really do it? Are you sure? Oh, quiet. I knew you were planning on asking me from the start. Huh? No, we weren't. Okay, yeah, we were. I'm sorry, but it's true that you're the only one we knew to ask. The villain probably doesn't have that many lines anyway. Worst case scenario, I could just use a radio or something and have Yashio-kun feed me the lines. By the way, where's Suburu-kun? Oh? For I should be sleeping next to Yashio-senpai by now. Oh, that's true, Mr. Candy would do it, and with energy. I am not! Turn around to an angry voice and find someone standing there who doesn't look remotely like Suburu-kun. Does he have updated tags? Yeah! Hi everyone, experience the supernova explosion from the shimmering flood of 400 light years, a Robo-1 hero, and champion from the Pilates star cluster. I have returned. Alright, I think that's all we got. Yeah. Whoa, it's Mr. Pilates! Wow, I'd only heard the rumors. This is my first time seeing him in real life. Please don't stare at me like that. You had your alter ego be that, and you are shy if people stare at you. No need to be shy. You look really cool. Really? No need to be shy. You look really cool. You're definitely making fun of me. How did you know? Can you read minds? It's obvious to anyone with that smirk on your face. These two actually make a great pair. So what are we doing about the villain? No need to worry about that. Hashida-san agreed to it. I see. I'm really sorry about this. We keep having to rely on you for so much. I don't know if I checked this area for tags. Equipment? I honestly don't remember. Technically I've gotten his tag before, but... Suburu-kun bows deeply. Given the way he's dressed, this all feels a wee bit awkward. But still, he looks awesome. I already got into a heated debate with Akitan about whether or not robots require faces, but if he voluntarily dresses like this, he's definitely on the same side as Akitan. Is there something on my face? No, you just remind me of a friend of mine. That is not the compliment. It depends. They're older now, so maybe, I don't know. Me? Yeah, you, or more specifically, the words of Mr. Pilates. Yeah. You're saying there are more perverts like this? Wow, Frau calling someone a pervert is a really, really, really weird thing. Pot, kettle, black, furguri. Yeah, he can't say. Spouts the lions now. That's true, he has not changed. You're right, you're right. Alright, we don't have time to bask in our glory. We should go over everything we can while we still can. Oh crap, you're right, look at the time! Prompted by Yashio-kun, we all look at the clock and realize there's not much time left until the show starts, causing us to start to panic just a little. Hashida-san, here is the script. Thank you. I checked the contents of the script. It's pretty much what I expected. Our role is to kidnap the MC lady and get beat up by Mr. Pilates. Wait a sec, who's the MC gonna be then? Oh, Hashida-san, this is your costume. Does it fit? Huh? Yeah, it should. The villain costume is hanging on the back of the room. I guess it does seem too big for Yashio-kun. Man, those shoulders. This way, Mr. Pilates. You have to put on makeup. Makeup? I don't need to. Yes, you do. You'll have to look good, even from behind. Are you gonna put makeup? Is that how makeup works? Yes. Suburu-kun ain't got nothing on Airi-chan. Is that how makeup works? She basically forces him to sit in the chair so she can apply makeup on him. Showtime draws near as we finish up prep and hold a last-minute meeting to make sure everything is good to go. Oh, by the way, your old man's coming, right? I have half the costume on, the lower half, as I approach Suburu-kun. You see, this will look all the time backstage at hero shows. How did you know that? Suburu-kun turns around, a surprised look on his made-up face. The makeup causes its expression to seem much more over-the-top than usual. Please, that guy couldn't guess as much, right? Well, sure. Yashio-kun nods. Suburu-kun looks flustered, but it was all pretty obvious to us. His sudden burst of motivation had to have been because of his daddy issues. Not the exact words I'd used, but, you know. In which case, I predicted that he'd want his father to see him successfully pull off the robot lecture. I want him to see the lecture side, not the show, so I told him to come in the afternoon. But he didn't give me a straight answer. I don't know if he's actually going to show up or not. And anyway, I can't let him see me like this. I told my dad that I wanted him to see what I want to do in the future. If he sees me like this... Mid-sentence, someone comes rushing into the room. Sorry I'm late, I got stuck at the Jaxa booth. Oh, perfect, it's almost showtime. Have you memorized your lines? Yep, I have them all perfectly memorized. Awesome. Huh? Is Nighton doing something for the show? Yep. I was asked to be the show's MC. Oh, so Naiton is the MC. That's reassuring. 5 minutes till go time. Everyone start taking your positions. Looks like we have a full house, too. Akitan communicates with the staff and flashes us a signal it's time to get ready. Okay, Hashida-san, let's put on your top half. Ah, hold on a sec. I gripped the thing in my hand that I snuck in. What's that? It's nothing. It's like a lucky charm. Whoa, you? A lucky charm? Are you nervous? Heck yeah, my chest is about to explode from all this anxiety. You sure don't look like it. Of course I don't. All I have to do is wear this costume and act crazy. There's nothing for me to feel nervous about. Ah, by the way, someone was pacing around near the entrance, so I brought him in. Upon being prompted by Naiton, the man in question steps out of the shadows. Subaru falls over himself. Suburu-kun stands up quickly and knocks his chair over as the person appears below the light. Dad! Why? Subaru, is that what you wanted me to see? No, But you're the one who wanted me to come see you. You have it wrong, Dad. I said you should come in the afternoon. Subaru, talk later. You have to get moving. The show's about to start. Please wait, Senomiya-senpai. I need to clear something up with my father. Whatever. Let's go. Akio don't give a damn. It's showtime. Suburu-kun is denied the opportunity to clear up the confusion with his father and gets dragged away by Akitan. Subaru, where are you headed? Was I not supposed to do that? Well, he was already here. No, let's just call it an accident brought about by unfortunate circumstances. It's not at all your fault, Naiton. But maybe this is his afternoon, because he's always up so early. But, I mean, afternoon still means afternoon. Anyway, guys, you two are up first, so you need to get going. Hadaka-san, you can watch from the audience seats. Sure. Will Suburu-kun be able to play out his role as Mr. Pilates with his father watching? I hope so, otherwise the show's gonna fail. Hey everybody, how are you all doing today? The Wasakai Gun Festival has entered its final 2 days. I hope you all have fun. The show is like any other. The MC lady calls some children up to the stage for interviews. Hi, what's your name? It's Airi. Airi-chan, got it. Where are you from, Airi-chan? By the way, this is all part of the show. Hey, Hashida-san, you're up. I hear Yashio-kun's voice from the intercom. Oh yeah, because you wouldn't want to go have the villain capture the MC when a random child was on stage. It's gotta be the plan. Yes, I know. I want to see what the costume looks like. Okay, one more question. Do you like robots, Airi-chan? Robots are... Yeah, my name. Hashida-san, it's not my name is, it's I am. Alright, I am. Oh hey, they're laughing. I am the Gourd Ghost. Hyotanmen. Take your salts and horses and eat them. If I can't find any, I'll kidnap one of you and eat you alive. A monster said to live in Tanegashima, a scary creature that eats salt and horses, but is hard to hate due to its humorous look and boneheaded personality. Oh no, an evil monster has appeared. If you get caught, you'll be eaten alive. Ooh, who should I kidnap first? Let's see. This guy, or how about this one right here? Ah, let's go with this one. Huh? Yeah, come on, little girl, come with me. I don't bite. Here, I'll give you some candy. Now you just sound like a pervert. This is bad. Airi-chan's been kidnapped. Remember, kids, don't go with people who offer you candy. It's time for me to eat this cute little girl. No, stop, let me go. Airi-chan starts squirming around in my arms. Resistance is futile. Was he Borg all of a sudden? No, you pervert! Someone help me! Someone, please! Oh, wait a minute, Airi, your acting is a little too realistic, don't you think? If you make it look too real... See? Everyone's getting creeped out. No, stop! Oh, the elbow! Airi's elbow hit the pit of my stomach, almost causing me to fall to my knees. Are you alright, Hashida-san? Take it easy on me, Airi-chan. Nice-san, let's move things along quickly. This is bad. Airi-chan is going to be eaten by the evil monster. If only he was here. That's right. If only the Arbiter of Justice, Mr. Pilates, was here. I know. Let's all call for Mr. Pilates together. I know he'll answer our calls. Okay, let's all call his name on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Mr. Pilates. Maybe that wasn't loud enough. Let's try one more time. 1, 2, 3. I hope he gets like wired down from the ceiling or something. Wait, this song! Huh? What? Who are you? Alcione, Electra, Maya, Taigeta, Cilantro, Asterope, Merope. This voice, could it be? By the blessings of the 7 goddesses, I descend to Earth from 400 light years yonder. The spectating children and their parents cheer loudly at Mr. Pilates' arrival. Wow, they're super into this. I hate to say this, but Mr. Pilates isn't exactly a household name. He's known in hobby robot circles, sure, but that's about it. And yet, a minor character like that is being greeted with thunderous applause and cheers. Maybe that's just normal at these kind of events, or maybe the audience is being really supportive. Either way, it's very much appreciated. I will not forgive those that disrupt peace in this galaxy. Suburu-kun, aka Mr. Pilates, points sharply at the audience. I was worried about his performance after his old man suddenly turned up, but looks like he's managed to pull himself together. Man, he must have made that costume and wrote those lines himself. Dude's a natural-born performer. Mr. Pilates, help us! A girl has been kidnapped by a monster! Help me, Mr. Pilates! My lady, you can rest assured now that I'm here. Evil monster, take your filthy hands off her. You're dealing with me now. Ugh, I don't know who you think you are, but I'll kill you if you get in my way. As scripted, I let go of Airi and charge towards Pilates. But Pilates, as scripted, dodges it effortlessly and... Goddess Artemis, lend me strength. Huh? Was that the line in the script? Nope. I'm not done with you yet. I act like I took a big punch dead on, pretend to writhe in pain, then stand back up to confront him again. In response, Suburu-kun unleashes another move on me. I collapse to the floor without finishing my words. Airi stomps on my corpse and throws herself into Pilates' arms. Stomps on my corpse. Everything will be okay now, milady. Thank you, Pilates. Based on a script that Akitan and Frautan wrote, this is where it ends happily ever after. Given the 2 people involved, this was a shockingly normal script for a hero show, yeah. But ending things like this would be way too cliché, so... I slowly get back up, pretending to squeeze out my last remaining strength. Way to just change the script last minute, huh? I mean, I guess Pilates already did. Not yet. It's not over yet. Suburu-kun and the others are taken aback by the unscripted turn of events. On the other hand, the audience is leaning further into the performance, which they thought was about to end. This is where the real show begins. Now to see if he's good at improv, I guess. Hey, Hashida-san, what are you doing? Don't worry, just leave it to me. We're in trouble. We thought the monster was already defeated, but he's getting back up again. Naitan starts to improvise with the unplanned plot twist. Thanks for the backup, Naisama. I'll have to use my final trump card, Mr. Pilates. This is your end. What is the meaning of this? Suburu-kun shoots me an angry look, but I ignore it and turn on the switch of the remote control in my hand. When it comes to hero shows, there's one cold hard rule that must be followed. A monster, once defeated... What? This can't... Come on, seriously? Must grow huge! Oh, okay. Okay. Of course, it's not actually me that's growing bigger. So how is this possible, you ask? Could this be? Naitan knows the rub. Yeah, it has to play into everyone's story somehow, and this is it here. Basically, I'm borrowing the functions of the electromagnetic wave or radiation equipment that Kokimijima used during our recent conflict. I modified it a little bit so I could use it for the show. Of course, it took me 2 consecutive all-nighters in order to complete it, so I'm dead tired. So it's a little bit, yeah. But now the show is sure to be a massive hit. Oh no. I figured everyone was used to seeing this sort of thing after all of that Kokimijima business, but no, the crowd is freaking out. Was this all too sudden? Maybe too close. Everyone, please stay calm. Pilates will defeat this evil beast for us. Naitan immediately jumps into support mode. Thanks to her, the audience understands that this is still part of the show, causing them to calm down. I need to give her a heartfelt reward later. Oh ho ho, how's this, Pilates? Now you have no chance against me. What will you do? What will I do? On the flip side, Suburu-kun is completely flustered. Jeez, he's so difficult. I've got no choice. The only chance you have against me at this point is your precious robot. My robot? That's right, your precious robot. If you focus your thoughts on it, it might appear, but I highly doubt you're capable of that now. Well played, Daru, well played. My precious robot. It looks like he's finally caught on. Suburu-kun closes his eyes slowly. He then clenches a fist in front of his chest. My precious. If he has strong feelings towards what is dear to him, basically, if his imagination is strong enough, the vision in his head will be projected to everyone else. And then, just like that, something shines in distant skies. Accompanied by a blast of sound, a large object splits the white clouds and flies straight down from the heavens. Oh, it's Liger Zero! There's a burst of smoke. The shadow standing within it is directly in front of my massive monster body. It's definitely a robot. But it isn't at all like the humanoid robot I was expecting. Instead, it's a puppy-like quadrupedal robot. Our plan was for Mr. Pilates' main robot, the M45, to show up here and defeat the monsters, making the crowd go mad and end the show on a high note. A hobby robot that Suburu controls is Mr. Pilates. With its 270-degree rotating upper body, grab and throw tactics, and the pile bunkers attached to his arms, it was able to win the hobby robot tournament 3 times in a row. But the arrival of such an unexpected robot has left everyone in the venue puzzled. Well, except for 2 people. Suburu-kun, the young man who summoned it here in the first place, and... that's... Suburu-kun's father. Suburu. What do I do now? My plan is a total bust. But now that we've come this far, there's no use turning back. You thought you could defeat me with that pathetic robot? This galaxy is mine to rule now. Die! I throw a punch at the quadrupedal robot standing in front of me, expressionlessly. I expected it to offer some kind of resistance, but instead the robot pathetically rolls backwards after making a metallic clanking noise. It doesn't even try to get back up. Weak, weak, weak! It's all over now. The audience is barely reacting. They appear to be dumbfounded by this whole thing. Keeping the show going any longer will do us no good. I approach the robot once again and try to get things under control. Then... You can do it! The kids in the crowd start to cheer. Don't lose, Pilates! You can do it, Pilates! Beat him up! The voices cheering for Pilates grow louder and louder, soon unifying together into a steady chant. Akio and Juna. Show us your moves, Four Eyes. Go, Suburu-kun! Mr. Pilates raises his face and looks straight at me, perhaps encouraged by the chanting. And then... what he said. By the blessings of the 7 goddesses, I take the prayers of the people in these hands of mine. He points straight at me and yells, Go, Super Suburu Robot! The quadrupedal robot, Super Suburu Robot, responds to his call and comes charging straight towards me. It's just an ordinary tackle, but... it's more than enough to take down the evil monster. Impossible! How could I? How could I lose to this robot? Curse you, Mr. Pilates! And then the world turns white, accompanied by a loud sound. I press the switch on the remote controller. Hot, hot, hot. I take off the costume and feel my sweat-drenched body soothed by the refreshing breeze. Wearing a full-body costume in this humidity is pure insanity. Yeah, no, that's facts. Ashida-san. Ah. And just like that, the crew have surrounded me. Jeez, you pulled that out of nowhere. Plus, you used that device from the other day, didn't you? My bad. Well, normally this is where we'd get really upset at you, but... that Frau face, though. Who could get mad after how exciting that was? Huh? I got me so pumped near the end. It's so cliche, but sometimes cliches are awesome. The audience seemed really happy too. I honestly thought they were going to be harder on me after I went behind their backs, but it looks like I'm off the hook. Besides... Mr. Pilates, teach us more about robots! Teach us! Me too, me too! Alright, if you come to the robot lecture later today, I'll teach you all about robots. I'm going! Going! Me too! Looks like the Robo lecture is going to be a certified hit thanks to this stage show. And I bet Suburu-kun is going to do a bang-up job. Mr. Pilates kindly watches over the children for a bit as they go to register for the Robo lecture. But then he appears to snap back to normal. He glances around, and then... Dad! After the venue is mostly cleared out, he calls for him. Suburu. Dad, I want you to hear me out. I want to go out to engineering school after I graduate. I want to pursue a career in robotics. It is something Suburu-kun could never bring himself to say. It was something he always wanted to say. It was something he needed to say. It was my dream to become a fisherman like you, Dad. I swear. But now I have a new dream, and I don't want to abandon it. Yet. I can't. I'll pay my own way through school. I'll work part-time. I'll get a scholarship. So... Suburu. His father suddenly raises his right hand. I can feel everyone nearby quietly hold their breaths. Is he going to hit his son? But in the next moment, that right hand firmly pats Suburu-kun on the shoulder. It's looking like I won't be retiring anytime soon. If that's what you want for yourself, then go get it done. I'll handle your tuition. Dad, really? This is your current dream, right? That means from here on out, it's my dream. Dad, Suburu-kun almost looks like a small child as his father pats him on the shoulder. Just like when he said he wanted to become a fisherman. Actually, I also have a favor to ask of you. A favor of me? Yeah. Is it alright if I attend the robo lecture? What? His father pulls something out from the large bag that he was carrying and shows it to Suburu-kun. I want to learn how to repair this thing on my own. The M45. Suburu-kun's father had pulled out a humanoid hobby robot. Suburu-kun's treasured machine, the very robot his father had broken. If one of the requirements is entering as a family, I'm allowed to attend, right? Of course, Dad. Okay, you two. Get going, or else the robo lecture will start without you. I mean, it can't start without Suburu, but right. Let's go, Dad. I'll have you know, I'm an amateur. Keep it simple. No worries. Even kids will be able to follow along. All of us warmly watch over the pair as they walk away. No, this is... I still can't pin down the tone of this goddamn game. Every single route is so freaking different. I'm enjoying it, but, like, it is everywhere. It is all over. At the beginning, I was wondering, like, what's Kokimijima got to do with all this? What's the through-line plot? But it really just seems to be a collection of... Here's what would happen if insert character here was the central figure of the things happening at the second half of the festival. The first half's all the same, second half, it's all on them. I'm liking it, but it's just so not what I expected. And just like that, the long storm has come to an end. Starting to want to see Dad again, too. Incest is too extreme, Frau. Hashida-san, is this what you were aiming for? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna complain. I'm just not what I expected. Of course, we need Suburu-kun to lead the robotics industry in the future. It'd be a huge waste of talent to leave someone like him hidden away in an island in the middle of nowhere. Oh, I didn't think you thought so highly of Suburu-kun. And one day, I'm gonna need his help. Help? Wait, do you mean... Yep. Excuse me, yep. And there's... So the two things we have to see are obviously, like, Kai and Aki get together, and whatever the hell Taru's been hiding this whole freaking time. I flash a smile at Nighttime. One day, he's gonna build me a maid robot that will listen to all of my... God damn it. Yeah, like, I'm not... It's so weird how different all the, like, sequels are. I know Zero's a prequel, but you know what I mean. Like, Child is still fairly different from Chaos Head, but they still have the same energy. Zero is just Steins Gate, but more depressing, with more of a focus on characters, which is funny because Steins Gate already focuses a lot on characters, but admittedly a lot on Okabe. And I'd argue Zero focuses more on other characters, with him still there too. And now this is just wholly, like, to be fair, Notes Elite was already very slice of life until way towards the end of it, where things got serious and the world was at stake. So, oh, didn't mean that. And just like that, I feel like a fool for admiring you. But that's the Hashida-san I know all too well. Until the day I have my real-life maid robot. Good luck, young man. Alright, class is in session. That was a really good wholesome one, though. Like, that was very good. I really like that one. But like, when I was like, oh, it's Subaru's chapter, no part of me would be like, this is how it's gonna go down. But like, I'm glad, that was great. But it's just... Alright, more trophies from now on. That is my dream. Alright, so... saving system data, yes. So now we load save 1. we flying through trophies, yeah. And in the last phase of something, I mean, maybe it'll get serious, but it'll almost seem out of place. Like, even the threat from the first game was kind of just a joke this time around that kept people entertained more than anything actual. It humiliated people more than, you know, killing them. So I don't know. We'll find out. Everything's always paused. So we start this one with main stage. This place looks suspicious to me. Oh, you say that, but... Huh? Isn't that... Juna-chan, you're the only one concerned about that. Jun-chan and Mr. Candy. What's wrong, Jun-chan? Oh, Yashio-kun. Whoa! Huh? A tanned cat-ear maid. This is too good. The vibrant and colorful maid outfit brings out your healthy skin tone, and then the cat ears give you this indescribable devilish vibe. What? Furthermore, your scared little eyes make me want to protect you. If you're doing that on purpose, Shuntan, you're a monster. Have we seen this one before? Yeah, we have. Okay. Front of man, sea statue. This one we've definitely seen. Progress until map trigger sequence 2. Was there one here? Yeah, it's at the base. There's no other, like, locked save on this route. Ah, yes, sad times. So I'm just assuming by that first one that this is going to be the Juno route. I guess we'll find out. Wow, we went through an entire ending. Like, his was really good, but it was not a very long one. Okay. Select food court. Yeah, since this is the required one. Yep. So it's got to be Juno's. And then main stage. Yep, okay. So at the ending of one, the start of another, or an entire one, and then a start of another. Alright, school entrance. Alright, that one. Easy peasy. We've seen a shockingly small amount of Michi. But I guess it really is, like, fairly laser focused on the key cast and our so map stage on the next one, and then we on to another route. How many do we even have? So we got this route, one more. Okay. So it's this one more, and then I guess after that we don't have to go through stuff. There'll be buttons on the main menu that send us forward. Okay. Reasonable. I don't know why I expected this one to be longer. Probably because we just came off of Chaos Child, which was massively huge. But I'm okay with a slightly shorter one. Like, I'm digging the routes. Frau was hilarious. Airi was entertaining, but it definitely made me realize how stupid everyone else kind of was. And then obviously Suburu was really great. So we'll just kind of see how things go. Also, I don't know why my nose is being a pain tonight. Hopefully that's good. It's Hanger for this one, yep. I'm glad we don't have different ones to find for each route. I'm glad it's like, no, we found the ones, it's good. Child was very meaty, which is great, but you can't expect that from everything. Also, we've been going through this one quicker because we were doing 2-day weekends for it. That definitely speeds things up too. I mean, we didn't this week, but you know. Alright, go through all this until we get the trophy thing, and then keep it rolling. Yep, you guys do your whole big thing. Defeated with the power of nurses, because, you know, that's, like, every single bit of this game has had such a different tone from every other bit of it. And I don't hate it, but it is objectively weird. Definitely don't hate it. But it is also very weird. Alright, here we go. Definitely hers, yep. One night has passed since Kokimijima's matchlock robot ran wild. Also, we should save just cause. Not that there's anything you can do to make it go wrong from here, but you know. The sky is clear. It's so clear that it makes the events of last night seem like a dream. You kind of don't do 2 days to last long while. That's the thing, like, I'm never trying to rush through them. So it depends on the weekend. Like, we won't be doing 2 days this weekend either, because I want to do Saturday, some more Splatoon. So we'll see. We'll see how things go around. All Nighton tasked me to do was to search for the geotags. So I have no obligation to participate in the festival, but also I should have taken that whole fast forward time to take a drink instead of now. Still, do it now. Without realizing it, I've dragged myself to the festival yet again. The fact that we keep going through the same days over and over again gives it kind of a Groundhog Day feel. Even though very different things are happening. The start's the same and then it's not. Whoa! The matchlock rifle that had been hovering above the festival robot until yesterday has completely vanished. Plus, all of the illusions that Kokimijima had created with his electromagnetic wave irradiation equipment are gone, returning the festival back to its normal state. Someone spots me gazing at the festival grounds and comes running over. Ashida-san, good morning. Something wrong? Oh, it's just that 10 years ago I'd been unthinkable for you to ever come running over to me like this. Is that so? Yeah, she was kind of afraid of everyone at that point. Yeah, you avoided us like a rotten disease back then. Except his daughter. When I was little, you all looked like giants to me. Can you really blame me? And Daru still looks like a giant. If she wants to talk about size, her father was way bigger than any one of us. I decided it'd be lame to call him out on it. I don't know, something about the festival feels kind of lonely now. The robot that was standing next to Gunbuild 1 until yesterday is now gone. Gunbuild is obviously still there, but seeing something that you grew so accustomed to disappear sure makes for a hollow feeling. It was definitely impactful as a festival prop, that's for sure. Apparently, more people are coming to the island because of all the craziness that went up until yesterday. I guess one could say that our little crisis has paid off in the form of attracting more visitors. So, what's next for you, Hashida-san? Well, I came all the way here. I might as well stick around a little longer and enjoy the festival to the end. Really? Naitan's face brightens in delight. Oh, could this be? I might actually have one final chance with Naitan while I'm here. Nope, not happening. You have a wife. Ah, what about a midsummer adventure? Nope, not happening. Darn. But I'm glad you're around. It puts me at ease. I'm sure the Robot Club kids feel the same. Oh, so I guess this really is my final chance. Nope. Rejected. Wait, how did you know? Anyway, I'm gonna get going. I hope you visit the Robot Club if you have some free time. What was June working on again? Oh, excuse me. The model robot competition. Naitan then energetically runs off. Mr. Braun, your little girl has grown up to become a truly remarkable woman. But man, thank goodness she didn't end up like her old man. What, you think she couldn't break you if she needed to? You should look bored, Hashida-san. I honestly have no doubt that if she needed to, she could break someone in half. I bump into Yashio-kun while wandering around the festival. The venue is fairly large, and the turnout is massive, especially because it's the first day of the main event, so I'll just chalk our little meeting up to fate. Why are you so quiet? No reason. I was just thinking that maybe the two of us are fated to be together. Ew, stop it. Oh, come on. Considering the huge crowds out right now, what else could it be but fate, duh? Just easier to spot because you stand out. Do I really stand out that much? Or am I so relevant to them they can't help but notice me? Yes, you are the protagonist of this one. You're relevant. What about you, Yashio-kun? Here for the festival? Yeah, but more so because I'm worried. He always plays it cool, but it sounds like deep inside he's still worried about how the Robot Club members are doing. Who are you the most worried about, Yashio-kun? Well, I think mostly Jun-chan, to be frank. Yashio-kun says after thinking to himself for a bit. Not surprising, considering that the ones who are tasked with the most for this festival are Jun-tan, Frau-tan, and Suburu-kun. I'm worried as to whether Jun-chan's going to be able to handle running the Battling Robots event. Battle Robots? One of the main attractions of the festival in which two original hobby robots face off against each other. According to Naitan, apparently, Jun-tan's shyness has significantly improved, but to me she still seems pretty dang shy. No wonder Yashio-kun was worried about her. Ah, well, speak of the devil, Jun-tan pops up right in front of us. Good morning. Good morning, my sweet honey. Huh? What? Just ignore him. Oh, okay. Yashio-kun, you're getting too used to this. So how are preparations for the Battle Robots tournament coming along? It's okay, I guess. We should be able to make it in time for opening day. From what I heard, the Battle Robots tournament is being held at the end of the festival, so she still has some time before it starts. Still, I didn't expect her to be so relaxed about it. Yashio-kun, you thought I was freaking out about it more, didn't you? After hearing Jun-tan's words, I looked to my side to find Yashio-kun making the same expression as I am. Well, yeah, I did, but I'm not the same person I used to be, you know? Sorry. I'm kidding. In reality, my job isn't that big a deal. We hired a professional MC to run the show of the day, the show on the day of, so it's actually easier on my part since I don't have to get in front of people. Now that she mentions it, I bet there are service vendors that take care of most of the setup, so all she really needs to do is make sure things run smoothly on the day of the show. Wait, but aren't you entering the tournament too, Jun-chan? I heard there's a spot for space candy. That's all taken care of too. We're having Nagafukata-sensei enter on our behalf. Michi? Yeah, Mr. President asked me to enter initially, but I kept refusing, so I gave up and found a replacement. Guess she's okay as long as she doesn't have to perform in front of a crowd. I get it. It makes sense now why she's so relaxed. While I'm busy being satisfied with the answer, Jun-tan sees the time and instantly looks flustered. Oh no, I have to go! The ship is leaving! Ship? Are you heading to the mainland, Jun-chan? Yeah, I have to go shopping for some things, but I have a lot more stuff to carry, so I was just looking for somebody to help me. I wonder who it could be. Jun-tan says as she pleadingly looks up at Yashio-kun. Oh, sorry, I got some plans after this. Oh no, it's okay, I understand. It's hard to find people who are randomly free at the last minute. Well, yeah, sure, but... Yashio-kun cuts himself off and slowly looks at me. Juntan follows suit. Yes, that's right. I have all the free time in the world. Oh, but... Okie dokie. I give her the answer before Juntan can finish what she's saying. Huh? Okie what? Okie dokie. In other words, okay. Compared to Yashio-kun, it must have been a lot harder for Juntan to ask me for favors. And I'm sure she was about to backtrack before I cut her off. In which case, the grown-up thing to do is to be forthcoming. Are you sure? Yeah, it's no biggie. I'm that rare person who's free at times like these. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Oops, I guess I sounded a little too bitter there. I gotta be careful next time. Well, now that that's settled, shouldn't you get going? Oh, yeah, anyway, Hashida-san, thank you. I guess there's not a whole lot of time before the ship departs. I wonder what she was planning on doing had she not run into me. With that question in mind, we part ways with Yashio-kun and head for the port. There are two ways to get to Kagoshima from Tanegashima, by air or by water, in other words, by plane or boat. And there are two options for the latter. One is the ferry, which I took to get here. The other option is the express ship, a trip that takes at least 3.5 hours one way on the ferry, takes only about an hour and a half via the express. Do you go to Kagoshima often, Juntan? No, I don't have a lot of money didn't have a lot of money as a student, and with how busy things are nowadays, it's true that the cost of a round-trip ticket on the express ship is a little harsh for a high school student. It's about half price for a ferry, but losing 7 hours out of one day is rough. Don't a lot of young folks go to the mainland for shopping and salons and stuff? What was that shopping district called again? You mean Tenmonkan? Yeah, that. I think everyone likes to go to Tenmonkan and the shopping mall at the central station. You think? I'm not really into fashion and that sort of stuff. There's always karate and club activities on my days off, so... Ah. Darn. Just went with the flow and tagged along, but I can't keep the conversation going. I thought we had gotten familiar with each other over the past several days, but come to think of it, this is the first time we've talked to each other like this, so maybe we haven't necessarily closed the distance enough. But I guess the next few hours may be our time to get to know each other. I may be an otaku at heart, but I'll show you what my high-level communication skills can do. There's no such thing as an otaku with high-level communication skills. That's an oxymoron, it's just not a thing. It's just not. Here you go, Hashida-san. Oh boy. Oh, so this is the famous Tenmonkan Mujayaki polar bear. It looks delish. That is a lot of fruits. You take it like this, and put this part down, and look, see? Right, it does look like a polar bear's face. Cool. So that's why it's called the polar bear. I never knew that. But look at this volume. And there are chocolate and strawberry variations too. Yours is the special. What about yours, Juntan? This is the summertime exclusive mango flavor. That looks good too. Uh-oh, that looks delicious too. Oh, you should hurry up and eat before it melts. Alright, let's dig in. It's so cold and tasty. I see. I totes get how this got so famous. Is there anything else you wanted to try? My treat. Really? As you can see, after we finished shopping in Kagoshima and I had a chance to take a breather, Juntan and I have gotten a lot closer. My communication skills are terrifyingly effective, if I do say so myself. But that's okay. I'm full from the polar bear. I did want to try some WICD though. Short for WcDonald's, a fast food restaurant located all over Japan that serves hamburgers. Unfortunately, there isn't one in Tanegashima. You mean the fast food chain? Yes, we don't have hamburgers and fried chicken in Tanegashima, so everyone likes to grab that kind of stuff when they're here. Oh. That's a little surprising to hear considering they're everywhere in Tokyo, but I guess that's what it's like out in the sticks. What's wrong? Did I say something funny? I'm sorry, it's just I was a little scared to be alone with you at first. I totes get it. People say I have an intimidating personality, but I'm not scary anymore, right? Not anymore. For some reason, when I'm with you, I feel at ease, as if Oh, is she about to say, as if we're dating? She's definitely not. Is that where she's taking this? She's definitely not. I'm with my little brothers. Little brothers? Ah, I have 3 little brothers. They were at the fireworks show. You didn't see them? Oh, right. Yeah, her little brothers. Actually, wait. Dara's Tanegashima Vacation Journal number 2. You're a bad boy, aren't you? Pranking me like that. I want to see what that... I assume it's a CG one. I have 50% CG. Cool. I'm sorry, Big Sis Juno. Okay, as long as you understand. Let's go take a bath, shall we? Okay. Ah, Daru. Yeah, that ain't too bad. Oh, I'm sorry, it's rude of me to say you're like my little brothers when you're so much older than me. It's fine, I'm okay with it, Big Sis. Huh? Oh, nothing. I didn't mean to say that bit out loud. If I made a bad impression now, it'll ruin the progress we've made thus far. I have to be more careful. Hashida-san? Are you the kind of person who can get along with just about anyone? I guess for the most part. I can visibly see the admiration on Juntan's face. So jealous. I'm introverted and shy. I wish I could be like you. Overcoming your shyness, eh? That's a pretty difficult problem to solve. Huh? Oh, sorry, I just thought that maybe if I copied you, I could become like you. How adorable is that? If you want, you can mimic me as much as you want. Really? I can't turn down a request from a cute girlie, duh. You're going down a dark path, June. Dark path. I'm actually quite the gentleman, too easy. Sorry, my nose is really stupid tonight. 1 second. I mean, she's just copying the words. I truly imagine she doesn't even know half the stuff she's saying there, but yeah, it's something. Alright, hopefully that clears the frickin' sinuses. Some days, man, some days. Hashida-san, you're so edgy and cool. Oh, now he's just... Now you're pushing your luck. What are you making me say? She caught me. Anyway, all jokes aside, how do you feel? Think you can get over your shyness? No, it's not working. Of course not. If it was that easy, no one would ever struggle. And even if she did get over it, if Juntan suddenly started talking like me, I don't know what Yashio-kun or the rest would say. Excuse me. Nothing good. Nothing good. But considering I'm her senpai in life, I should try and give her some advice. I've been thinking, people can't change unless they want to change for themselves. Huh? No matter how respected or smart the person, the people who manage to change are the ones who set out to change themselves. I know the struggles of those who took that first agonizing step. The future can be changed. Yeah, yes it can. He knows very well. Wow, that sounded really serious there. But I can't help it when I see someone struggling. Oh, look at the time. Takes more than 15 minutes to walk from Tenmunkan to the South Pier where the boat headed home departs out of. Taking the bus or taxi will take us at least 10 minutes. If we don't head over now, we'll miss the final boat of the day and get stuck here. Not that I'd mind, but as long as I've identified myself as a gentleman, I need to avoid doing anything that will cause any sort of misunderstanding. We grab our bags and hurry along the road to the pier. I feel like I've gotten to know a lot about Juntan during this little adventure of ours. The fact that she's a student of karate, the fact that she has 3 young brothers, and the fact that she holds a complex towards her own introverted personality. If she wasn't bothered by it, then I wouldn't say anything or go out of my way to do something about it. But if she really does want to change, then it makes me want to help her out too. I thought that I might be sticking my nose where it doesn't belong. I mean, I feel like every one of these, especially the Suburu one, has definitely been him sticking his nose, but it works. Is this okay? Yeah, thank you so much for all your help today. At the end of the day, I decided not to step in too deep. I set down the bags and started to walk away. Oh, Hashida-san? What's up? Juntan's tone is more serious than usual. I have a favor to ask of you. Juntan's cheeks, illuminated by the sunset, slightly redden. She's fidgeting a little. This could be my moment. But wait, I have a waifu and a daughter! Yeah, and you have for years. If possible, could you help me prepare for the Battle of Robots tournament? Oh, that's it? I see, so that's how you want to play. I thought everything was going smoothly. That's true, but in reality, even though I'm in the robot club, I don't know the first thing about robotics. So I thought maybe you could teach me. I'd rather teach you about things other than robots, to be honest. Daru. What? Oh, nothing. Forget I said anything. But, you know, I'm not necessarily a robot expert either. Nai-san told me all about you. She said you should be fairly familiar with them. Plus, you probably know more about them than I do. Well, that may be true, but... Why me? You might as well ask Yashio-kun or Suburu-kun. Hidaka-kun is busy with the robot lecture, and Yashio-kun, well... I want him to spend time with Akiho-chan, which he's still not doing. So, then I guess those two are like that. I like when girls are actually conscious about that sort of stuff. In Airi terms, she would be the best friend character, or the character you can't romance. Just can't help but emotionally latch onto girls like this. Plus, it must have taken a lot of courage for Juntan to ask an outsider like me for a favor, especially considering her introverted nature. Well, I don't know how useful it's going to be, but sure. Really? Like I said, I can't turn down a request from a cute girl. I'm actually quite the gentleman, too easy, right? Damn right. It's not like I have anything else going on, and if I'm going to help someone, of course I would prefer helping a girl. Counting on you, Hashida-san. Juntan did say she was counting on me, but this is also a new area. Are there new geotechs? Yes. Mostly just for cars, it looks like. Alright, still a bunch of new tags. Cool. Oh, and... I asked him because I had something... It's fine. He won't do anything weird, right? I reported your meaningful comment. I told you, it's not me. World, this is the real polar bear. Seriously amazed. Since I had some time, I got a mango polar bear. It tastes so good. It looks good. That's the limited summer one. Lucky. Yeah, it was super good. Thank you very much for today. I don't want to deal with Mr. Candy's unreasonable demands, but for something like this, let me know at any time if you need help. Yes, thank you very much. That's all we got. That goes over there. No, I meant I'll take it. This goes here, and then... Now that I'm here, I don't really know what to do. There you are. Oh, Yashio-kun. Heard all about it, Hashida-san. You're helping out Jun-chan? Yep, that's the plan. I haven't really done much helping so far, though. I think that's probably fine. Just lend her a hand if it looks like she's struggling. That's about all I can do. This is turning out to be a way bigger event than I thought. I'm honestly surprised. Mr. Candy doesn't like half-assing things. When he does something, he goes all in. Yeah. That guy must be one hell of a mover and shaker if he can throw an event like this just from selling candy. But I'm relieved. Yashio-kun watches Juntan run around the venue. She's doing better than I thought. I can't deny that Juntan looks a little unreliable when working, but it's apparent that she's doing the best she can. She mentioned that her shyness was a strong sticking point for her, but if she's self-aware of it and is trying to move forward on her own, then I feel like she'll be okay. A man enters my peripheral vision while I ruminate on the matter. Yo, Yashio, and you're... Hashida-san. Oh, also. Got his. Woman holding her bangs. What? Interested in me? Can't even see. Monthly parking. No, I was hoping there might be like a zoomed in one. Except that one. Alright. Oh, Hashida-san, that's right. If I recall correctly, Juntan told me that this teacher is supposed to represent Space Candy in the Battle Robots tournament. I figured he'd be a science teacher or something, but he looks more like a PE teacher. That much is clear judging by the whistle around his neck and the track jacket he's wearing. Apparently, he was the first president of the Central T Robot Club, and due to that connection, he's now their club supervisor. He doesn't look like he knows much about robots, but considering they're teenage neuroscience prodigies, well, maybe it's not that weird at all. So what are you doing here, Michi? I'm here to talk to Daitoku about the event. Where's the lady of the hour? Jun-chan's over there. Ah. Having spotted Michi-shi, Juntan comes running over. Yo, Daitoku, wanted to ask you something. I'm sorry, Sensei. My hands are tied up right now. Could you wait just a little bit? Ah, working hard, I see. I respect that. Don't worry about me. I'll just be hanging around here killing time. Not helping. Just waiting. Thank you. I'll try to be done as quickly as possible. Ah, you're working so hard. I'm gonna go relax. Find me when you're done. After watching Juntan bow deeply and run back out, Michi-shi turns to us. So, guess that's that. I'm gonna go wander around for a bit. See you later. Now that Michi-shi is gone, Yashio-kun and I are left alone again. So what are you up to after this, Hashida-san? Me? I'm supposed to help Juntan out, so... Having said that, I don't have much to do in particular. What about you, Yashio-kun? Going somewhere with Aki-chan or anything? With Aki-chan? Why? Who knows? You're asking me that? Wait, so they're not dating? That's what it sounded like from what Juntan told me yesterday. And just as I debate whether or not to pry for further deets... Oh. Suddenly a loud scream erupts from the back. What the? It was Michi-shi's voice, wasn't... Oh, what did he do? Let's go, check it out. Yashio-kun dashes in the direction of the scream without waiting for my response. I obviously follow behind. No, so now he's going to get injured. So he can't go to the robot tournament. Ow! Upon arrival, we find Michi-shi holding his right arm, lying by a collapsed prop. What happened, Michi? I was walking, and this thing... Judging by his wincing face, it seems like Michi-shi is in a lot of pain. Nagafukata-sensei! Juntan arrives after us and freezes up as soon as she sees Michi-shi's condition. She covers her mouth with her right hand. She must be really shocked by all of this. Daitoku, sorry. Oh no, what do I... Juntan is on the verge of falling apart. Oh, hold on. It's not what you think. It's not that this thing fell over. I tripped over nothing while trying to avoid it and... You mean, you fell on your own? I guess that's one way to put it. Did you hear that, Jun-chan? Yashio-kun says in a bright tone that doesn't really match what just took place. That's right, you have nothing to worry about, Daitoku. But... I considered butting in, but hold my tongue to avoid saying something thoughtless. Judging by Jun-chan's behavior and Yashio-kun's handling of it, maybe she has some sort of trauma with these types of accidents. But... Excuse me, I think I twisted something a bit. Anyway, I'm gonna go get it checked out at a hospital. Michi-shi tells Jun-chan not to worry multiple times before leaving the venue, holding his arm. Huh? Wait! What's wrong? No, it's nothing. Did I check this one for tags? Yeah, I think I did. Like day one. Okay. Am I seeing things? Oh, did he not get hurt? 3 weeks for a full recovery? Oops. Mitsushi came back from the clinic late that afternoon to inform us that his shoulder injury would take 3 weeks to heal completely. Looks perfectly fine on the outside, but hey. Juntan's face scrunches up again. She's on the verge of bawling. I'm so sorry. Like I said, you don't have to worry, Daitoku. You have no fault in this whatsoever. Yeah, you have nothing to worry about. Jun-chan, Michi's the one that fell on his own. Just for being lazy? Maybe? Maybe. Since everything seems to come back to the machine, I wonder if she's unintentionally causing these things to happen by just constantly imagining worst case scenario things. Like, we know she's super stressed about the possibility of, like, having to... Like, she didn't want to be in the robot competition even though she's helping to run it. Maybe? Or maybe it's a manifestation of Michi just trying to get out of work. It could absolutely be that too, for sure. From what I've been told, the prop was secured in place, which means the showrunners aren't to blame. Even so, Juntan remains distraught. I guess Akitan and Michi are acting all bubbly to try and make her feel better, but it seems like everyone's forgetting about the bigger problem at hand. Jeez, you're such a doofus. Sorry guys. You're a teacher, for crying out loud. You gotta be more careful. It's all my fault. But the doctor said I just have to stay put for a while and it'll be okay. How long is a while? At least 2 weeks, he said. 2 weeks, which means... Wait, when's the Battle Robots tournament again? In a week, but... Huh? Oh, darn. Sorry, but yeah... Mitsushi unapologetically taps Junhan on her shoulder after she finally realizes the predicament she's been placed in. A look of stunned shock runs across her face. Good luck out there, Daitoku. Ah, poor girl. The next day. Hey, Juntan? Juntan isn't even trying to contain her listlessness. Sorry, my nose is clogged and I don't know why. After Michi handed her the responsibility of competing in the Battle Robots tournament yesterday, she obviously resisted as best she could. Frautan and Suburu-kun, both members of the Robot Club, have their own responsibilities to handle, so she couldn't pass the task off to them. Yashio-kun and Akitan offered to step in when they couldn't stand to see her struggling any longer, but... At the end of the day, after hearing about the incident, Mr. Candy had the final say in the matter. You really don't want to do this, huh? It's a tournament! There's going to be so many people, and I hear that the media is going to be there too. I can't represent Space Candy in that kind of environment. Being as shy as she is, the mere thought of getting in front of a crowd like that must be nauseating to her. If you really can't do it, why don't you try and beg Mr. President one last time? I guess. I don't think it's gonna work. No can do, thanks. Juntan's request was instantly turned down with those simple words. No way! Thanks, stupid parrot. How about Twitter? Jeez, Michi, what are you doing at a time like this? It'll take 3 weeks to recover. Sorry, hope you recover quickly. It's not your fault, so don't feel bad. Okay, thank you. I knew Mr. Candy was aggressive, but dang, he's really aggressive. Huh, I don't think I can do this. That's all we got. Alright. This parakeet is so annoying. Personally, I always wanted you to enter over Mitsuhiko. But I just can't. If you can produce results during this event, you may be able to attract new members to the Robot Club. You are an alumni, after all. That's... Plus, this is a very important job for a PR person. I'd like for you to try your best at this, Juna-chan. How about it? Juntan can't say a thing in response. And in the end,
わかりました。
understood. She has no choice but to nod.
やっぱりダメだ。
So it didn't go very well, I'm guessing. Those were the first words out of his mouth as he came by to check on her. That is an understatement.
それどういうこと？
What do you mean?
それが
Mr. President said to me, I'll have you know, since you're entering the competition with our company logo on your back, I won't accept anything other than the championship. Wow, okay. No pressure or anything, I guess. What? That's insane. I can't possibly handle such pressure. No buts. That is insane, but okay. 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 Dude is ruthless. And yet Yashio-kun doesn't seem the least bit surprised that Mr. President would say something like that. In the end, Juntan has to enter the tournament, regardless of her feelings on the matter. Of course, part of this is because Mr. Candy ordered her to do so, but it's also because Michishi got hurt. By the way, according to Mr. Candy, the hobby robot that Juntan is going to use is already being built. All that Juntan has to do is memorize the operational manual. That sounds easy on paper, but the biggest issue is Junchan herself, probably. I guess so. Even if you had the skills, none of that would matter if you freeze up on stage. We have to do something about your anxiety. If I could do that, I would have already done it. I figured. She's the one who feels strongest about dealing with her anxiety. All we can do is help her along the way. But if it was that easy, no one would ever have to worry about anxiety. The robot's not complete yet, right? Not yet. They said it'll take until the last minute. You only have the spec sheet? Yeah, they're on my phone droid. Can you send them over to me? Yashio-kun glances through the robot specs that Juntan sent him and then nods. Arm motor, storage battery, operating access, Horn of Alderaan, center control cover, operating access arm 2. I see. The core system is based on Tanagashi Machine 3 Kai. Tanagashi Machine 3 Kai is apparently the name of the Robot Club's homemade hobby robot. They won second place with it at a tournament last year, or so I've heard. It's built so that you can operate it using the kill ballad system. Yeah, that's why you should be the one to enter, Yashio-kun. I would if I could. Judging by the tone of his voice, Yashio-kun must be pretty darn good at KB. Yeah, he sounds confident as heck. If it's using the kill ballad system, then I guess the fastest way to victory is to get better at playing KB. Junchan, let's try a round. Huh? With you, Yashio-kun? But that's impossible. Come on, just give it a shot. Okay. The two pull out their phone droids and boot up the app. I peek at Yashio-kun's screen from behind as the title screen loads up and displays his username. Umisho? What? As in that Umisho? You're familiar? Of course I am! Kill Ballad Online used to have more than 20 million active users worldwide at one point. And among them, Umisho was a player that constantly ranked in at 5th place. 5th place doesn't sound super impressive at first, but it is when you consider that he was competing with 20 million other players. That's one hell of an accomplishment. Now more than before, I understand why Juntan would want Yashio-kun to enter instead. Alright, let's give it a go. Man, I never would have guessed that you're the Umisho. Even while we're preparing for battle, Hashira-san keeps repeating himself. And while I don't mind him watching from behind, I'm feeling a whole lot of pressure coming from him. But you know what? I've never thought I'd pick up KB again like this. I haven't touched it since moving to the mainland to study for a year. You know, after the incident. Thanks to my inactivity, my rank has dropped pretty significantly. Huh? Looks like Kona-chan is still performing regular maintenance. Looking at the patch version, I can tell it's been updated a number of times since last spring. Pharaoh Kojiro is actually quite diligent about this type of thing. Junchan, are you ready? Yes, please take it easy on me. I haven't touched it in 6 months, so I'm really rusty to... But you're definitely a lot better than me. Yeah, A pro rank player getting some rust is way different from somebody trying it for the first time. I guess we'll find out. Well. Daitoku Chun Chun. Ah, yeah, I'm definitely rusty. Oh, what? No, that's not. What's wrong, Jun-chan? Oh, what? Ah. Whoa, Jun-chan, wrong way. I know, but, how come it doesn't move the way I want it to? I mean, that's, Well, one-sided slightly. Things go exactly as expected. I may be rusty, but I used to play every day. I'd never lose to your average player. And Juna is definitely not as good as the average player. I feel bad saying this, but she's no competition. Come on, Yoshio-kun, you're being a child. Why don't you cut her a little slack? I did pull my punches a little. But there's no point in doing this if you beat her so quickly. Isn't this for Juntan? He's right. I just couldn't help myself. It's been a long time since I played. Man, KB is still the best. Anyway, you gotta keep going. Nah, from here on out, you play her. Huh? Me? You've played KB before, right? For a brief period of time, KB also acted as a sort of communication tool. I suspect someone like Hashira-san should have some experience playing it. Well, a little. See, there you go. I decided to pass the baton to Hashira-san. If I play any longer, my KB cravings might become uncontainable. Yeah, you know. Oh. Uh-oh, I lost again. This is how it is in the beginning. Really? Let's try one more time. Well. One more. Welp, this is going fine. Perfectly fine. One more. Hope I didn't get a cold over the weekend. I feel okay, it's just stuffy nose, so I'm hoping it's just allergies or my nose being stupid. We went at it for several rounds, and I'm afraid I've come to the conclusion that Juntan's even worse at KB than I expected. I have some experience playing, but I can't say that I'm any good at it. Eroge are my specialty. So if someone like me can beat her easily, then she's definitely got work to do. So much work that it's almost devastating. But I feel like her lack of skill isn't the problem right now. With these types of games, you normally see gradual improvement after playing for a while, but you just can't see a hint of progress. That's the real issue. Which basically means there's no hope of getting better. This might be a bigger issue than I thought. I'm just not cut out for this. I mean, I wonder what the best thing to say to her is. I'm not very good at doing multiple things at once. Yeah, I can tell by watching you. You have to pay attention to the screen, operate the unit with your left hand, attack and defend with the right hand, all at the same time. You are a mess with all of it. In other words, she can't perform different motions simultaneously. I feel like that's the nail in the coffin. Don't you cook, Jun-chan? Huh? Yeah, I make food for everyone at the house. You cook all of it? I'd love to try your cooking one day. Ashida-san. My bad. Isn't cooking similar to video games in that you have to pay attention to multiple things at once? I see. After my daughter was born, I started helping out with cooking and noticed that it requires a lot of planning. You have to formulate the steps in your head, prepare the ingredients, cook them, and flavor them. Plus, if you want to serve multiple warm dishes, you need to make them simultaneously. After hearing Yashio-kun bring it up, he might be right. Gaming and cooking have quite a bit in common, but I think cooking's a little different. It doesn't seem like that's getting through to Juntan. Then what about karate? Didn't you have to observe your opponent's approach carefully in order to react with the appropriate technique? I feel like the process is similar to a multiplayer video game. With karate, my body just moves before I even think about it. That's how it is with video games. Yeah, sure. But with games, I can't help but get inside of my own head. See, in karate, a punch is a punch, and a kick is a kick. My actions are directly linked with the result, you know? I get what she's saying. With games, each button corresponds to a certain action. Push one to punch or to fire missiles. It requires a different process on the intermediary. You look at the screen, understand it, and your fingers' movements are converted to the movements of the robot on screen. Maybe this process is what gets in her head? This undoubtedly causes a slowdown in terms of movement. This is gonna be tough. I mean, I feel like this type of stuff isn't easy to pull off even if you know what you want to do in your head. Being able to play video games is a form of talent. That's why there are pro gamers out there. Maybe Juntan just doesn't mesh well with the kill ballot system. But if the robot system is designed to use it, then we have no choice but to stick with it. No, there is another way. Whoa, that just sounded like a commander in a robot anime. Really? Yep. Go on. Well, we'll have to modify the system itself. Modify the system? Yep, by saving and picking this up on the next week. We technically got 5 minutes left, but I don't think we're going to hit a new scene besides that. But we made a ton of progress tonight. We finished Airi's route, we started and finished Subaru's route, and we started Jun's route. After this, we have one more go through the loads route, and then we have 2 that you just pick from the main menu, so yeah, not too bad, not too bad. The current plan, I already forgot the current plan. I'll just check the Discord and check my own cheat sheet. Oh yeah, tomorrow's Horizon Zero Dawn, Thursday is Monster Hunter Rise, Friday is more Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm going to say Saturday is going to be Splatoon. Sunday will be this. Those aren't technically on the Discord yet, but I'll add them. That's the plan for the week. Yeah, I like that idea. Sounds good. Any of those are subject to change in case Capcom decides to just drop the Monster Hunter title update, but I think they're going to drop it on a Tuesday or Wednesday. So that should... I know Thursday they're giving us more news about it. So at the earliest they should drop it the Tuesday after, not same day. But if they decide to drop it Friday, we'll do that instead of Horizon or something. That's a big if. But now we got ourselves a monster, a court, a Discord, and always gotta... Good. Good. Thank you all for tuning in, thank you all for watching. This has been Viper's Viperland. Sorry I've been a little stuffy at the end of the stream. I started the stream fine, and I still feel okay, but I'm just stuffy. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Especially for a long reading stream. Just how fate does some days. But yeah, that's our plans for the next few days. This has been Viper's Viperland. Thank you all for tuning in, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.